Here. Okay. And then we'll turn this up. Hey, everybody. What's going on? How's it going? This is the Permanent Relegation Podcast. We're back at Chatham Tap and Fishers. For those of you who haven't been here for a show, we are here every other Tuesday doing a podcast featuring local soccer, usually Indy 11 stuff. Special guests today. We got a full show, so we're going to kind of break it down into some segments as well. And then I think we might have some tickets to give away too. So we're going to give away some tickets. Obviously, you can follow us at PR Podcast Show on Twitter. And we're on YouTube. We broadcast live. So
we're live to you
everybody
sexy.
Up there. Yeah.
Yep.
And make sure that you guys are tipping your wait staff. They're working hard tonight. It's a beautiful night too. So if you're sitting outside and can't hear us, that's too bad. I am Andy as usual.
Chris. As always.
Before we get to our guests, we always want to thank Chatham Tap and Fishers. We were at Union Jack's last time.
We appreciate the venture down there. It was
awesome.
We had promised for a long time to go down there. It was it's a little different experience, and it was good to be able to get out and kind of do some different stuff. And it's really nice to be wanted, right?
Yes.
So,
and now we're back home.
We are back home. So
the home location.
So these guys are extremely nervous because they think this is going to be like a normal,
we're
sitting here. Yeah, no. So we'll ask the normal five. So tell me about
how do you feel about your season?
And do you think you have? No, that's not us.
And of course, a huge thanks to our sponsor, Global Scarves. Who have made these awesome permanent relegation scarves that we have on sale.
Yes.
You can grab one over there.
I could, but
I'm not going to.
I'm not going to.
Oh.
No, I got this one right here. Right there. Bam. Just do it. I don't care about the keys. Who cares?
We have it actually hanging up in the bar over the Sun King logo.
Hey, Clay.
Have them on sale for $20.
Shout out to Clay.
Yes.
Guess what? My scarf is over your logo.
Global Scarves, of course, create custom soccer scarves made for leagues of the MLS, NASL, USL, and NPSL. They're great for fundraisers for high school teams and contests and all that kind of stuff. They've got a fast turnaround. I mean, they pump these out real fast.
Yeah, they were good.
Made in England, low minimums, about $50 per order. So you can go over to globalscarves.com. They'll design it for you, or you can submit a Euro design. So really special thanks to Bill over at Global Scarves for these awesome permanent relegation scarves.
Yes.
So let's get to it.
Do your thing.
We have from the Indiana Fire head coach, John Simmonds. Did I pronounce it correct?
That's hard, right?
Right. And then is it owner?
General manager.
General manager.
So wait, okay.
A general manager, Mark Weber.
I was introduced to you as owner,
but it's Cormack, and he's already 2 Guinnesses in, so he's going to introduce everybody as an owner of everything.
Cormack's like, that guy's super important. He owns everything.
It's actually boss.
Boss. Okay, so boss.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the boss. So you got to be on your A game and your best behavior right now.
Yes, I do.
Even though he's beating you in the beer contest right now.
We'll wait till he leaves.
Okay.
And then afterwards, we'll have James Cormack from the Bloody Shambles podcast and blog, and as well joining him, Aaron Gunyon. Did I say that right, Gunyon? Sweet. Aaron Gunyon of the Indiana Sports Report, joining us to talk Indy 11 and all things soccer and whatever else the hell we want to talk about.
Right. That's about
that's about
what listen. The first part of this show is actually going to have some great structure. There's going to be some important information. There's going to be some really good dialogue,
some sound advice and talk.
And then
for the youth of the nation.
We're going to hit that for the youth of the nation.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to hit that part, and the whole train is just going to derail. And that's right when they leave, and the other guys come in.
Anytime Cormac's involved, it
done.
Usually involves a derailing train.
As he just shuts down the last part of that Guinness.
Cheers, James.
To go. Cheers. Exactly. All right. So
you guys have had quite the season.
Yeah, we did. Just
so we got to get these questions out of the way.
Yeah.
So the season was amazing. Tell us how that went.
Yeah.
Then we'll get to the good stuff.
Long summer. The NPSL's 4th tier of U.S. soccer, right. And just came back from Chattanooga for the semifinals, national semifinals. Didn't get the result we wanted. Lost 3-0. But being Midwest
still stresses
champions,
you out, doesn't it? I can see you start to talk about it.
He talks about it. He's like, can I take a drink real quick?
Okay, right. I get you. Right.
I didn't get my bonus from my boss.
That's why you're getting a beer right now. He's like, I'm so sorry.
I have to say, for John, he coached from May to July from 5 p.m. He had his youth teams, and he coached the NPSL from 8:30 to 10 every night. So he was on the park from 5 to 10 every night on top of running the club, basically, on top of that. So
Jeez.
he definitely put his time in this summer.
That's why this guy looks like he literally has spent the last 2 weeks in the Caribbean. I get it.
Actually, it's been on a bus.
Oh, okay.
If that's the case, then only your left arm would be tanned because you'd be hanging out in the window.
Nothing but
Right.
the best in the fourth
Right.
tier of soccer.
MLS quality on an NPSL budget.
Exactly.
Okay. What's so funny is, okay, so we take that from so John Kaluter,
Yes.
you know,
Yo,
Kaluter.
John.
He always says that. He always goes, "We're trying to give MLS quality at an NASL budget." So to put that down to NPSL budget is really funny. Like, I'm sorry. That's really
No,
good.
it's
So,
funny.
All right, so hey, see, this is a difference. Piece. You went down. Oh, just a little bit. Oh,
How's that? Is that better?
Boom. Better.
Is that better?
Better.
A little bit more? Good. Yes.
I don't
Hello.
even know what you're doing right now. Is that a violin?
Is that down or up? How's that, Maz? Is that better? Sweet. Thank you.
You're amazing. Generally, he's just coming over to ask for beer. Like, who wants a beer? So, yeah, I know. And see, Maz, that's all good. We'll get it. We'll
Yeah,
grab you
you'll
one
get
here.
it. Yeah, it's okay.
All right. So you didn't
Anyway,
get
go
the
ahead.
result that you wanted against Chattanooga, and so they have a game against who
Cosmos.
everybody hates. Yeah. Well, everybody here. Sorry, you guys don't. You can't say that, but we can say that. So everybody hates. So, but overall, I mean, how do you feel about your team? How do you feel about? I mean, going forward.
You know what? We learned a lot. Inaugural year was last year.
Right.
Made some mistakes last year. We learned from those, corrected them, and to win the Midwest region our second year, quite a feat. And now we've got to.
Is it though? Let's be honest though. So because obviously this is a combination of a couple different clubs, I mean, major things. So you had Carmel United, and you had Westfield that kind of went through, and you have known for really good soccer for a long period of time as well. So is it really that shocking that you have this good? I mean, that you have this good of a team? I mean, honestly.
No, I don't think we knew what the level,
Okay.
the standard was going to be our first year.
Okay.
And then we found out what it was, and we picked up a few
Yeah.
missing pieces and
Okay.
got it done this year. And now it's what can we do next year to contend for the national championship as opposed to just the semis, and a couple players short. And I think we need some kids with some experience and not just college kids. And so we'll go the college route again. We'll get some developmental academy players from our organization and hopefully add some mature older players, maybe some local guys that can push us over the top next year.
Okay. So for those that don't know, so obviously this is the second year for Indiana Fire. This is year 2 that we just finished out, right? So how did all this transpire? How did we get to the Indiana Fire from where we were?
Yeah, I want to hear the
Sounds
Indiana.
great.
I want to
I
hear
wanna
the
hear-
Indiana Fire story.
Hey, yes.
I will defer that to my boss.
Right. So
Yeah,
yes,
if you
where did
screw it
come
up,
from?
there's no
Right.
taking it back.
You're done. Yeah.
So it's pretty simple.
Yep.
Westfield Youth Soccer had Grand Park.
Yep.
Carmel United had the 2 major platforms for youth soccer in the developmental academy and the ECNL on the girls' side.
Yep.
The Chicago Fire kind of brought us together, and so we became a joint affiliate of the Chicago Fire with our home at Grand Park.
Okay.
So 31 soccer fields, 7 turf under lights. That was kind of the draw to the Fire and to Carmel United to come together with Westfield.
Really, that simple. That was it. Well,
Right.
more than what we're going to talk about. Got it. Yes, I get it. Yes.
We needed
Right.
fields.
Yeah. No, it always comes down to
31
that.
of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
31.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
always good. Okay.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
Have you been there?
Yes.
What were you doing over there?
I cannot be privy. You cannot be privy to that information on a live radio.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, there's some dodgy stuff that happens on over there.
Westfield also brought 1,200 child rec league and
Right.
about a 200-person adult league to the party. So, it was a good week. We have a playing platform for every level at this point, from rec all the way to NPSL.
All right. So from MPSL, and obviously you have the Fire, the juniors, as it is. So how's the breakdown go? So you guys start at what age? About U13, U14, or what's
U5 in rec,
U5 and rec, right? Okay.
U8 in travel.
Okay. So do you guys have any limitation in the travel? So at that point, you say U8 and travel. What's the travel limitation for that?
Well, John can pipe into it. U10 and below is all within 465.
Okay.
We actually have a league with 5 other clubs that are in the city.
Okay.
So we don't travel out much outside 465. Once you get to U11, it's more of just a statewide travel league, and U12, U13, we start to do some cross-state or intra-state travel.
Okay, so you don't have any type of restrictions where at a point where you go, okay, 400-mile max. We're not going to try to have any of our players go. I mean, outside now. I mean, your area, yes, you got to go all over the country, but I mean, for the juniors.
Yeah, well, for our junior program, we have kids from Evansville, Louisville,
right,
Cincinnati, travel 3 days a week.
Okay.
So we're layered. I mean, we can every level of play can be accommodated in our program.
Okay.
Top teams compete at the regional, national level. Second teams at state level. Third teams, again, local level. So we can accommodate even the adult rec program that we have. So anybody that wants to play has a platform to play. And the NPSL is just was developed to give our kids that come home from college an opportunity to play in the summertime. And then also some local non-college players. Any amateur can actually play in the NPSL.
So, yeah, did you have a...
We have an internet question already.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Wow.
Would you rather fight, what is it, 100... one horse-sized Eric Norales or 100 Eric Norales-sized horses?
Do you even know who Eric Norales is? Yes, of course you do.
I know Eric, yes.
Yes, right.
That's a typical question every podcast.
Not
really
personally, no, I don't know.
That's really, really random.
It's just what happens every time. Well, are you even surprised?
I kind of am on this one. Like,
Is Eric super fast? Because I don't think I can outrun a horse. I might have a better chance of outrunning Eric.
It's very true. But when he catches you, Eric does not mess around.
I would not play Eric Norales in slappers.
No.
Just say that.
Yeah. He walked through the BYB on Saturday, and I was just like, this guy is an enormous human being.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. Fender, so big guy. So
anyway, sorry.
Thank you, Andy, for the. So what I kind of want to ask, and you guys can divulge how you want to, and I don't want to cause any riff, and we appreciate you coming on. But there's been an interesting piece for quite a while when you talk about high school soccer and you talk about the actual school versus club, and it's kind of been this way for a while. And now that we have the Indiana Fire, how have you guys found, because there are now, especially on the boys side, you have that, I'm not going to play high school soccer. I'm going to focus on this end, because this, especially now, is there's an unfair thing that this is just a feeder program up to the Fire, and that's not necessarily true. That's obviously there's the affiliation with the Fire, but that's not just all it is. This is a great development for talent. This is a great development of learning the game. This is a great development of playing against top end talent as well at this level. So when you have these kids that are like, I'm just going to play, I mean, how have you guys handled this? Because obviously you have both sides. You have those that are the coaches on high school side, and you have coaches, and there's you that's over here, and you have coaches also on the youth. How have you handled this?
I'm going to give you the administrative perspective.
Good. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
And I'm going to let John talk about the soccer perspective. Okay. So understand that the Developmental Academy is a U.S. soccer program.
Right.
They mandate a 10-month schedule. So we don't get to choose whether kids get to play high school or not. If they're in the Developmental Academy, they do not play high school. It's just the way it works.
Okay.
Part of that was driven by the fact that Florida, Texas, and California, the three biggest states in the union, all have different times that they play soccer at high school.
Yeah.
So they tried for 2 or 3 years to make it work with high school soccer, but they just couldn't get the season in. So they drive the schedule to be 10 months. It starts in mid-September and goes to the mid-July, with basically July and August off into middle of September. But that's not really our decision.
Right. Okay.
Because I think if we had it our way, we all grew up playing high school soccer.
Yeah.
We'd prefer the kids, logistically as a parent, when your kid's at high school as a 14 or 15-year-old kid, you take them to school and they stay there till 5:30, you pick them up. Yeah. Now when they're playing Developmental Academy, as Johnson, we have kids that travel here from Louisville.
Yeah, 3 days a week. Wow. Yeah.
Columbus, Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Evansville, Indiana. So, and they're mandated to come 2 times a week to training. They train with us 2 times a week,
right?
And they train in their local environment 2 times a week. So that's a U.S. soccer thing. That's not driven by us.
And see, but the thing that's interesting though is before we get to the soccer side is, so our last show we had Dragan Stojkov who's from the Republic of Macedonia, And what he was talking about is he goes, by the time you're 16, you make a life choice. Your life choice is, do I continue on with school, or do I continue on with my soccer career? You have to make a choice. You sign professionally at 16 years old, and you decide this is what you're going to do. And so,
and who did he tackle at 16? He tackled, what was it? Nedved.
Yeah, Nedved. Yeah, Pavel Nedved. Right. Yeah, he took him out. So,
took him out.
Yeah. So it's one of those. I think for here, right? It's a completely, almost a foreign concept, but that's not new. If you look at when you look at the big clubs and you look at like your Real Madrids or Barcelona clubs that you have from youth, that's just kind of how it is. It's not like you play for school. So I completely understand what you're saying. It is definitely driven. We need you for that. That's just how the schedule is. And it's a little different because of the States and being, but that's not really unique at this point. That's kind of how it is everywhere else. And you look at who are the powerhouses, and that's just because it's driven that way, that this is what it is. This is our sport. So, I mean, turn on the soccer side.
Yeah, I mean, that top layer, that top 1%, that's easily identified.
Right.
And so when you identify those players, they have to find a platform where they can play and develop. And unfortunately, it's not playing for their high schools probably.
Right.
So they make a decision early, and they have to stand by that because that's probably going to be their college, right? They're probably going to go play somewhere in college.
Right.
And so once they make that decision, can't go back. It's difficult. And like Mark was saying, that top 1%, those players, those are the ones that we can identify, bring them in. It's a 10-month program with us, and they stick with us. And eventually, where do they go? On to college.
Yeah.
Hopefully on to USL Pro, hopefully on to MLS. And the Fire obviously would benefit from those players that come out of our organization.
Okay.
That's free promotion.
Right. So, okay.
Well, not necessarily free, but it's promotion.
So for those that may be looking, they get their kids involved. And so let's say they go through the ranks and they end up in here. They're not just instantly tied. Obviously, with MLS, you have the super draft. You have how this goes. But what are the chances that you come to the organization that you end up at the Chicago Fire? If, let's say, you are a top 1%er, you go through versus,
we have one there now. So that gives you an idea how big our organization is. And I can tell you we have one player there now.
Okay.
It's very hard. Numbers are not in your favor.
Right.
So, but that's not really any different than any other.
It's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cam Lindley was with the Fire 18s, U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
So local kid.
It's just when you see, it's one thing to hear him, but you can't get the side view, but it's the face. It's like, here's your reality check. One. There is. Let me help you. One. There you go.
John is intense.
You go.
We got another internet question.
Okay.
I
hope it's another doozy.
No, it's an actual
okay, good.
non-stupid question.
Okay.
As he put it. So this is Mike. Mike's one of the capos on the Brickyard Battalion, who's leading the chants, all that fun stuff. He was wondering what kind of benchmarks or fundamentals need to be hit at the different age groups. So is there something that gets focused on differently for U11s than at U14s and U17s and things like that? Like what kind of things? How do you coach those type of kids differently based on age?
I mean, 8s through 11s, we call that the golden age of learning. And if they can't do the tactics and get the technical piece of it, then it's obviously going to be hard to go on at 12 and 13. So 8s through 11s, technical, and then obviously 13, you start developing them with a tactical sense. We do a really good job with our young ones, which is the technical piece of it. Repetition. Older kids, and it becomes the tactical piece. And are they watching games? Are they aware of their positional sense? And we have a full curriculum that we go through that was actually supplied to us by Chicago Fire that we follow for our age groups.
All praise be to the Chicago Fire.
They pay the bills.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So
They help.
I was always interested on how that worked too. So it's interesting to see how the development goes.
All right. So looking forward, as we go on, do we have anything? And again, you can't divulge more than you can divulge, but do we see any major changes or anything happening within the organization? I mean, is this what we're looking forward in the future, like towards in the future here, the way this organization's set up, or what's your view? What's your view, and what's your kind of goal of what do you want this to become? It's already successful. It's good, and as we talked about, it's really, really large. But
you're
is there
turning
anything you want
this
to
into an
change?
Andy question.
I am, but I'm just saying, what's your goal? You know, what do you view?
So, my perspective.
Yeah.
So we've competed at the highest levels very well.
Right.
So we sent 3 teams to nationals in the ECNL.
Okay.
Our U18 DA team went to nationals at that level. Our NPSL team obviously went to the national
Right.
semifinals, 1 game away from the national final. So at the highest level, I think we're competing as good as you can for a youth program.
Right.
I think the next step for us is to compete at that local level. So we're still trying to bring kids in so we can compete for state cups. So the developmental academy kids can't play in the state competition. So this year we won 1 state cup on the girls' side. So part of our development plan is to get more competitive at that Midwest Regional League and win more titles in that. You know, and then ironically, at the front end, that U5 to U11 end on the rec side, we're very good on that side also. So we're great at the rec, we're great at the high level.
But the
It's
middle
that
side.
middle that we have to develop a little bit.
What do you think the gap is? What I mean, if we're good on both ends, where do you think the breakdown in between that becomes?
Give my opinion,
Yeah.
then we'll have John
Okay,
talk
no,
on
that's
the
fine.
soccer side.
Yep. And I appreciate you at least answering, because I know these are questions like I got to put it a particular way, but
Well, on
it's
the,
interesting to know.
On the business side,
Yeah.
I think parents want their kids to play on the first team. So when you have a developmental academy team at 14, 16, 18, or an ECNL team, that's the first team.
Yeah.
So even the MRL team that we have is, in some people's mind, that's the second team. And it's so a lot of folks would rather go play at a different club than stay with kind of the premier club and play on that second team.
Right.
So
I think it's the coaching. I mean, there's so many clubs in Indianapolis, and you know, they're all part-time. They work full-time jobs. They come out to the fields, and until we get some guys that are more committed to do this full-time and do the licensing piece, then I think we're going to struggle. I know in our organization we have some full-time guys that are, you know, highly qualified and licensed, but those middle-tier teams, unfortunately, that's not their primary source of income. It's not their primary job. So they're not obviously – there's no hunger for them to go and get licensing, and the coaching education piece is important for our coaches, not just in our organization, but other organizations in the city. And until our coaches get an appetite to continue to get better and get licenses and increase their coaching education, I think we're just going to be doing what we're doing. That's kind of staying above water year to year. And that middle tier is the group that struggles the most.
And so that middle tier, though, you talk about from like the U11 to about what age? I mean, at that point, I guess it's a weird. God, this would be really weird. I'm like hard for you guys is like a catch-22.
Yeah, I call our middle tiers like the non-first teams.
Okay,
because what coach does the first teams get? The best coaches.
Yeah, right. That's very true. Yeah.
And I mean, that's just the reality of it. And unfortunately, there's just not enough quality coaches in Indianapolis. And if there are, they're with other clubs, right?
Yeah.
And so there's not enough quality coaches to take those middle tier teams in your organizations, not just ours, but others as well.
But this year we did start. So we have a pre-developmental academy program that goes 11, 12, and 13.
Yep.
So we've kind of driven that top level team down to some younger age groups. They're going to do some lengthy travel. I think we have games in Chicago, St. Louis, Columbus, maybe Kansas City. Okay. So they'll make 4 road trips like the developmental academy where they'll be on their own in a team environment. Yeah. There's 11, 12, and 13-year-old kids. So we're expanding the programming for the elite, the elite kids. But just because a kid's elite at 12 doesn't mean he's going to be elite at 16 or 17.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot of physical change, a lot of mental change. That is very true. So it's weird because I mean, as a coach where you are, and just a coach in general, it's like another version of a parent. It's like, I mean, obviously you have, obviously you shake your head here, but not the parent that comes and screams out on the field and thinks that they know everything about the game.
John never screams.
No, he just gives this look. This is very. I don't know what
It's,
you're trying
it's
to
the
ask
look
me.
that you're like, you know
Right.
what? If I'm in a house, I'm going to the other room.
Right, I get it, Dad. I'm out of here. So,
The vein pops
yeah,
up.
there it is. Oh, it is.
Called it.
Damn.
Called
So
it.
okay, so I just avoid this question. We're good. Okay, so moving on. No, okay. So no, it's like a parent, and obviously you gain a relationship with these kids, and it's just weird. I mean, the time that you develop with that. I mean, you're shaking your head at that. So
Well, the biggest problem with youth soccer is the parents. And as much as I talk about coaching education, we need to have parental education.
well, goodbye, Mark. I'm glad you could join us.
No, it's the truth. We need
Yeah.
parental education as well as coaching education on expectations. I mean, that top layer, that MLS level, that
Right.
NASL level it's less than 1%.
Yeah.
And parents have a hard time understanding. It's just like college scholarships, again, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And there's 5 million Johnnies out there trying to go
Right.
and play at IU. And it's
Right.
it's tough.
Well, yeah, and you figure that they field a roster of 22, 23, maybe 24. You go, how many people are in Indiana? How many kids there are? And I think what's always impressive about Indiana is we've had for a long, long time a very impressive youth program. And we had George Perry on here. Same deal. We're talking about that. It just goes forever and ever and ever of just the success we have. And you figure there's other states that are even more so, that produce this. So I think what's so funny is in the mainstream, you hear this, oh, well, soccer is, it's a B rate. It's whatever. You have basketball, you have your football, you have your baseball, and soccer. No, when it comes to youth, it's no easier to make a professional level in soccer than it is anywhere else. And yeah, there's 330 million people, but this sport in general is no easier to make. On top of whatever bureaucracy there may be in USMNT or whatever it may be, won't talk. No, it's very, very hard to make.
Well,
So,
it's non-realistic expectations at times.
just to have their kid make it right. It's a lot of pressure that's on there. So
Final question I'd
Yep.
like to talk about, and it's more based off of how this last season's gone and just fan support towards the end of the season. James has done a good job. Andrew Retz with the American Outlaws has been really key in driving it. So I guess get your thoughts on how that started to grow. And it seemed like on social media, more and more people were wanting to go see the games.
Yeah. I mean, we're grateful for you guys and the Brickyard Battalion with the social media piece. And, as we got closer and we had to get those last 4 wins to get into the playoffs, and we were making a push, and you guys were doing, we started getting fans of the game. It's difficult for our guys. I mean, we're competing with the Indy 11, right? Every weekend.
Yeah.
It's just how it is because of the seasons obviously clash. And, we started getting more fans to the games, and it's difficult. You go on the road, you play in front of 3,500, you come home, you play in front of less than 100. And, it's tough for the guys. It's tough for me. And
It's almost like the exact opposite of Indy 11's
Indy
problem,
11,
where they
right.
go
True.
out and play in front of like 3,000 people, and they come
True.
home and play in front of 10,000
And
people.
then, we go to the national semifinals and we play Chattanooga in front of nearly
10,000,
10,000
yeah.
people.
That was incredible.
And our college guys have not seen a crowd bigger than, a couple thousand. So we're a little bit awestruck there.
What kind of effect did that have on did that have any kind of effect on some of the guys where it's just like, holy, this is a lot of people?
Yeah, it did. I mean, obviously IU gets, a few thousand people for their games, but nothing like this. And to have their supporters right behind your bench, it took them a while to settle in. Yeah, it really did. And before the game, the tailgating reminded me a lot of the Indy 11 games, what you guys do here with the Brickyard Battalion. It had an effect on us, but they're also young. They're 19, 20, 21-year-olds, and Chattanooga's roster is former pros, 26, 27, 28, seasoned veterans. Grown men.
Yeah.
Right.
And that ultimately was the difference in the last 20 minutes of the game when it's 0-0, and it was time to, go on to the finals. They proved that they were the better team.
So what do we need to do to help with that? Obviously, we have social media. What do you want from the fans? What do you need from
Or
us
even
to
from
help
us, from the show.
us? Yeah, I mean,
I think next year, as you guys are aware, we're going to be qualified for the Open Cup.
Yeah.
So, as you've seen typically those lower league teams get to host that first round game to try to help with the revenue source.
get people out.
That's huge for us. I mean, we need to get some fans to that game, whoever it may be.
Is there going to be a change of venue of where you guys are going to play?
We've discussed that, and it's probably something that needs to be addressed because, we were at Westfield High School, didn't work out, and then we were at Park Tudor, worked out a little bit better.
And Cormack and I were talking.
Then Westfield just revamped everything, so they have more seating available. It seems like too.
Yeah, but it's away from our membership is busy playing games. Unfortunately, we'd like to get them there, and so we need to rely on not scheduling games with the 11 that conflict, and using the resources with your groups to help us get fans to games. And that's something Mark and I have talked about, and also with James and Andrew, and we're hopefully going to design something next year that will help us get some rear ends in the seats. And our goal is we will put a good product out again next year. None of our players are graduating from college, so there won't be any roster changes probably unless we, find some local guys that are amateurs that try out and actually fit the bill for our needs.
Awesome.
No, so I mean, I appreciate you guys on. What I want everybody to know is it doesn't matter what your MLS affiliation, your club affiliation, anything it is Indiana soccer is special. It's been special for a very long time, and I appreciate both of you and obviously everybody else that's involved of continuing that. It's a huge deal. Soccer in general, obviously we see a giant cultural shift. And it is, and maybe it's a younger generation. There's guys like you that are really pioneering this and really pushing this forward. And there has been guys for years that are doing this. But this organization is great. It has a very good storied history individually, and then together it makes it even stronger. So I appreciate your guys. Obviously, the time and effort. You said it earlier. The amount of effort that you're putting out there daily.
John is a big reason for what happened this year.
Yeah.
His dedication to this program, these kids, was phenomenal. He gets all the accolades for what we've done on the field. Lisa McDonald, who's not here, was our admin. She was fantastic. She put in a ton of hours with John getting this done. Yep. And I think for us, a lot of times we're associated with the Fire, but the kids that we had playing with us this summer, they came from Westside United, Dynamo, Pike, USAI, Fort Wayne. I mean, there was probably 7 kids that came that were homegrown from our club, but everybody else came from all over the city. Okay. Nago came from Pike. So I think we have to do a better job of making sure the whole community understands. This is not a bunch of Carmel kids. This is an Indianapolis team.
Right.
Kids from all over our city, all over our state.
Yep.
And
I don't mean to interrupt you, Mark, but it goes beyond that. These are our future coaches in our organizations, whether it's Indiana Fire or another organizations, and that's what we need. And so that's the exciting piece, is that these guys will hopefully, when they're done with college and they reside in Indianapolis, they'll come on and coach with the local clubs, and now it becomes a cycle, doesn't it? And that's what we need.
So I do think there's a turn, because last year was tough for us to find a venue. And now we've already had Marion University and Butler reach out to us about hosting our games at their sites next year. So I mean, I think the popularity of this situation is growing.
I mean, it's only year 2, really, if you think about this. I mean, I would say it would continue on. So if people want to get connected with you guys, so social media wise, or let's start with website wise, where do they want to go? Let's start from just those that want to learn more about the organization. They want to maybe get their kids involved. How do they go about this?
IndianaFireJuniors.com.
Okay.
Or they can email John or I, Weber, IndianaFireJuniors.com, or Simmonds at IndianaFireJuniors.com.
Okay.
John's on his email till midnight. Up again.
I'm sure your wife likes that.
Up again at 4:30.
No, that's not for your wife. That's for soccer, right? I'm married to the game.
Well, and
the Midwest Championship rings look like a wedding band,
right?
But I also want to note that obviously today. Nago Mbang was named by the media as second team All MPSL, which is a huge accomplishment. That's actually voted on by media. But also Cody Schweitzer, goalkeeper from Fort Wayne, and Nago actually were both called in by Indy 11. I know.
Yep. Training with them.
Yeah, training with them, and hopefully that leads to something, if not really with the Indy 11, but maybe with the USL Pro team or another pro team around the country. And so the fact that Tim has reached out to them and Tim's come to some games and watched them, keeping that relationship with Indy 11 open and continuing is obviously pertinent for both Indy 11 and Indiana Fire.
Right. And you guys can look them up on Facebook, Indiana Fire's on Facebook, and then at Indiana Fire NPSL on Twitter for all the NPSL news and things like that. Gentlemen, we really appreciate the time for coming out and talking to us tonight.
Not a normal show. Get it? Not a normal type deal. I got the vein multiple times. I get it. Now that I know what it means.
Yeah, all right.
Ooh, no,
you see him at a game and you see the vein out, you just got to run the other way. It's just like Christian with the ball going on the side. Don't even touch it.
Don't touch it. Right. No, but thank you for taking time.
You're fine. I'm retired.
Coming up, we'll take maybe a couple minute break, and then coming up next, we have James Cormack and Aaron Gunyon on the Permanent Relegation Podcast.
We'll talk some Indy 11.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys.
No, I
appreciate you.
Thank you. It's great to see you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hang out, listen. I think you got seats saved over there. Awesome. Come on up. What? Oh, we're still recording. Just no sound right now. Huh? I couldn't hear any of it. Yeah, they made us turn it down a little bit. I think we were too loud at the beginning. You won't hear anything yet.
We're so mad right now.
Oh, yeah?
We're not going to talk about what you told us. But
You can't.
Like it's setting in.
You cannot tell. You cannot talk about it. If you wanna pull that up too.
But the other thing is, how'd you know Christian's not fucking with you?
Because I know when he's fucking with me, and when I know when he's not.
He's
like,
German. How can you know anything?
Because I know, and he was just like, I'm not playing. And he was almost like, I wish that Tim would just go, hey, you don't have to travel with us.
So he can put on an apron.
Yeah.
Are we recording right now?
No. He wouldn't give a shit.
I love Christian, but not being impressed with fall.
Huh?
I've not been impressed with him over the whole year.
Yeah.
Especially Ottawa, he was slow.
Everybody sucked in the Ottawa game. Yeah.
But the goal on Saturday.
The Pedro Mendes goal.
Line right away. Like I watched it.
The Pedro Mendes goal was not his fault.
No.
It was defense. Like he ran. He took a run. Like Pedro took a run. Defense just watched him run by.
Christian, Christian recognized it, and he recognized it on time, he was off his line immediately to shut down the angle.
Yep.
And Pedro actually bonked it. First of all, he topped the shit out of the ball.
He topped it. It was like a golf shot. He topped the ball.
He topped the shit out of it, and then I think it bounced off the inside of the post. So it was like,
nah, it's not just right.
But my point is, it was just barely a good shot. Like it was a shot that he should finish, but just barely a good shot. So
Pedro was lucky he was 4 yards from goal.
it wasn't a lovely bit of skill. It was a good run. It was the right run at the right time. And to be honest, Chavez recognizing it in the right time was bigger and way more important than the run or the shot.
It was similar to Raul.
Yeah.
Or like a Moscow Mule, little lemon.
Hey, we're back.
You want the
Tito's vodka.
Chasing a white Russian.
Ginger beer. Yeah.
I could remember this.
It's going out.
Hey,
buddy.
everybody.
We're on.
How's it going?
We're back with Cormack. And then this guy who just always has a writing utensil in his head.
He does.
I want to take good notes.
Oh, man, you ain't going to get that from here.
I want lessons in how to pronounce Aaron. Because I can't. Because I'm
Aaron?
My name is Aaron Gunyon.
Aaron.
I have
Aaron.
notes written.
Aaron.
I have
It's just
euchre
like- it's just
written
like-
on my notes.
Aaron.
Euchre, you have euchre.
It's just like how you say Yannicky for some reason.
Because we always said Elvis Aaron Presley when we were growing up. It's like Aaron.
How about Yannicky? What's that about?
Yannicky?
Yannicky.
Yannicky.
Yeah,
What's
it's not
Janicki
Janicki.
about?
It's
I have
Janicki.
no idea.
Right. It's not Stoikov. This isn't.
Well, J is a
This
Y
is-
in Europe.
this isn't Serbian.
If you're Polish or German, it's Y.
Or Serbian.
Janicki.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Sounds awesome.
Anyway,
But
I
you're
mean,
not.
if you're from Europe, you grew up learning
Yeah.
shit like that. If
That's
you're
true.
from
Oh,
USA, you're
that's true.
stupid. So
welcome back to the permanent relegation
Welcome
podcast.
I don't care about that shit.
It's all right. Now we are joined by the lovely. Oh yeah, now it's time for the shit show.
Right. It's done.
Yeah. It is the Bloody Shambles himself, the blogger, the podcaster, the guy in the background during the Bloody Shambles podcast.
The guy from the kitchen making fucking Totino's pizza rolls, screaming from the kitchen. Right.
Going to the
James Hamas Cormack. And
Hamas.
that might have a short in it, so you might have to mess
I
with it a
still
little
don't
bit.
get that.
Okay.
Check.
And then you don't get the Hamas thing?
I have no idea.
Hamas Ramirez?
Nippon won't tell me.
Hamas Rodriguez?
Hamas Rodriguez. James.
That's
Hamas.
Jaime.
What?
Jaime.
That's Jamie.
Jaime.
That's
Hamas,
Jamie.
like
Hamas.
a soft J, and then
You know, like I'm
Hamas.
yogging. I'm yogging.
Like I give a shit.
anyway,
Man, it's so
we have James Cormack, and which just censors now, and then we also have from the Indiana Sports Report, Indy 11 beat writer.
I always have to say is why do you? There's certain things you
Right,
introduce
right.
and you say it, and it's almost an Indiana Sports Report.
because if it was a TV show and it was
Yeah.
Indiana Sports Report, it'd be like Indiana Sports Report.
no, that's better.
Okay,
The
What's a
first
beat
time was-
writer? Because whenever someone says that, I think of Jack Kerouac. It's like,
beat
What's
writer's a guy that's just focused on one certain aspect of like
We
if
gotta
it's
go
like
to the
a
inside scoop.
yeah
Here
yeah
we go.
yeah.
Right.
Let's go to Aaron with all the latest news.
so it's like your copper's beat. It's like that's your beat. That's
Yeah.
your area.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
got
It's
it?
the same thing.
I think you already knew that. Thank you for
Apparently-
asking
No, I
questions.
just,
Apparently-
I just literally just got it.
It just bing.
I will also
Great.
say something about Aaron, and it might be picked up on the YouTube.
Yeah.
This guy has. I thought I had a big torso. This guy's got a giant torso. I mean, he's sitting down and he's taller than I am.
But then if he stands up, he's the same size as Cormack.
That's a big dude.
And a fantastic beard,
I'm
by the
like
way.
around the middle and thin on the top, but I can push it up.
And then you look, dude. You look.
But then I move away from the microphone.
But then you lost all your neck. It's gone. So
So
All right.
we're going to talk about everything.
let's do it.
So,
let's just
uh,
get to the nitty
It's been a bit since we've been on the air. Last time that we were on before tonight, we had Dragon and Janicki on.
Yep.
Talking about
Depression Greg.
not
right,
yes,
right, we had
Depression Greg. We had Depression Greg who was deep in the depression from the Ottawa game.
Oh,
And then oh man, that looks fancy.
dude,
What
We
is that
were
called
all-
again?
this is a
We were
Moscow
all
game.
in depression mode
This
after
was-
that.
Yeah, that's right.
I love you. I'm really happy. I remember when we talked about that.
it looks like
the
you're in the
homeless
tropical
outreach was doing
military.
a great job.
It looks
I'm
like
really
we're in
happy.
a tropical military.
I'm really glad that the homeless outreach was doing well. We always talk about that.
I got my army cup, but it's got fruit in it. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
White Jesus.
White
Okay.
Jesus, or yeah, like Chris said, Maz here, the lovely Maz at Chatham Tap and Fishers. Chris always says, "I'm glad the homeless outreach program hires the homeless to
But
wait
he's been here
tables."
so long now. Like it's like this guy is super.
He actually lives in the
successful.
kitchen.
This program works.
Lives in the
Look at
kitchen.
him. He's taking notes. Aaron's immediately homeless outreach.
Is this going to be a
Chatham
story
Fishers.
on Indiana
No,
Sports
it's-
Report?
This could
What
very
the
well
hell
be.
is
I
no-
do
All
like
right.
to compliment guys on beards wherever I go just to make it awkward.
Yeah.
But that beard
Is
is
this
outstanding.
Oh, I was going to say his. His,
Oh.
is getting there.
I'm
His is
trying.
getting there.
I can't. I gotta work on.
Once
it.
you get to the
Trying.
length, once you get to a certain length, you're like, it's just so much. I
No,
have
no,
to shave
no,
it.
no, no. I'm gonna get to this. Like, I'm gonna start.
Are you
I'm-
oiling
I'm
it?
I'm about to. I'm just.
Do you oil
I
your
think I'm gonna
beard?
go all out.
No.
Andy's
Just-
got the shaved balls thing going on.
Mm.
He just can't.
Oh, see
grow
what
it.
happens is here's what happens when I grow it. I don't know if you can see it, but I can't grow hair right here. Like it's just
Dude,
this
it's super
patchy.
patchy.
It's a patchy like trailer trash beard where
Is
it's
that-
ba-
you got slapped when you were a kid.
it makes Kid Rock's beard look
No,
like a ZZ
He's
Top beard.
inbred. He's from Indiana.
Solid beard.
Breeding.
2 solid beard references right there.
Guys, cheers.
Oh yeah,
Cheers.
cheers, gentlemen.
I mean, the empty one. That's.
Are you
weird.
drinking
It's
some
not
St.
empty yet.
Joseph as well?
I am.
All right,
It's not empty if it's not clean.
James. As usual, if you see James at any kind of Indy 11 watch party or here at Chatham in Fishers or downtown, always drinking a Guinness.
It's the best beer in the world.
Why
the
is
best
that?
beer in the
Why
world.
is that?
Do you drink it?
Yeah,
yeah,
I
of
do.
course I do. I just drink it in the wintertime. I don't drink it in the
beautiful.
summertime.
It's smooth. It's rich. It's creamy.
Uh-oh. You're looking for a Guinness sponsorship on the Bloody
Mhm.
Shambles podcast. All right. Anyway.
The harp's not coming.
Would you rather have a Guinness or a Honda?
A Honda?
Oh, what? A Honda?
What is wrong with you?
The car?
You're talking sponsorship.
Oh, I'd rather have a Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't drive to work on a Guinness.
Well, that might
Write that one down. That was all good. That was a good one.
I do.
And just so you know, I don't know if you know how podcasts work, but this is going to be recorded that you can listen back and take notes after the fact.
I never listen to my podcast. You guys actually
I
listen
still
to
only
your
have
podcast?
one note.
How my one note? It
I don't even
literally
read
still
my
says
blogs.
Euchre. It still says Euchre. And this is his only note.
That is
All right,
correct.
what do you got?
You cry.
David Wacker had a question for the MPSL guys, but they're already gone.
What's
so.
the question?
Well, I'm
The
MPSL
question
expert.
was, you said you had youth teams for girls. Does your organization work with the Chicago Red Stars or just the Fire?
Well, it's got nothing to do with MPSL.
I understand, but just Indiana Fire in general.
Yeah, they have girls, and
And does that work with the Red Stars, or does it work?
I don't think there's
Is
any
it just
relationship.
is it
with
just
the Red
association
Stars.
with the Fire?
I don't think
for the
I don't
boys.
think Indiana Fire Juniors has a relationship with the Red Stars.
Okay.
No.
Well, there's your answer, David. David Wacker.
See, that's another time where you just said that shit. And it was
Because
super
I
derogatory.
wanted the emphasis on Wacker.
Then just add
My last name is
drive-in.
Baumgartner, and it's just the worst name in the world.
All right. where
From
we
my
st-
knowledge, the Chicago Fire gives the Indiana Fire Juniors coaching instruction and coaching experience,
Right.
but I think it's one way. So
and
A little bit of that.
too. Just
A
a
little
little
bit
bit of that. Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
So anyway,
Okay.
we won't talk about the Ottawa game.
Don't want to.
We can
Right.
move on to
Ottawa?
Yeah, because we haven't been on since the Ottawa game. Since after.
The Ottawa game didn't happen.
We were on the Tuesday after the Ottawa game, and so we had Depression Greg
you guys
Janicki.
blog or something.
Huh?
You should try blogging.
That's a lot of work. Have you seen this guy that
Yeah,
writes?
a three-game week.
Have you seen this guy who writes like 5
He's
pages of a
he's
blog?
literally typing right now. We
I
can't
literally
see him. He's
just
like,
finished my review, and I got to start my preview.
all right.
Which is another 5 pages.
Yeah, these Wednesday games are rough.
I mean, you're just fucking long-winded. Let's just be
I'm
honest.
trying to work on that. I'm
You're
trying to.
twining. You're trying to. I'm trying to work.
You
on
know,
it.
if you go back and look at my blogs from the start of the season, I have paragraphs that are 500 words
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
And someone told me you should do
not a paragraph.
Break 'em up.
short snippets of a couple of sentences, then break them up. Because if someone needs to go pee, they can stop at
Listen,
a point easily.
your earlier
and come
blogs,
back.
your earlier blogs weren't paragraphs. If they were sectioned off in a book, they'd be chapters.
It was like the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was the Dead Sea Scrolls, basically. And it's probably
Okay,
as wise
first of all,
as
it is hard to come up with a coherent thought, but at the same time, there is a limit to how many commas you can put in.
I mean, at a point, it's no longer right.
instead of a run-out sentence,
He's
Cormack
like,
has a run-on
ellipsis.
blog.
Every single thing I do, I have a disclaimer for. You know what that disclaimer is?
What's that?
Bloody Shambles.
Now, I will
Why do you
jump
think I
in.
picked that name?
Yeah.
I will jump in and say, first of all, I read everything this guy writes, and we
Yeah,
typically
it's very
agree on almost everything,
Yeah.
which isn't great for controversy, but we do tend to agree on most of the points.
I mean, yeah, he's right, and we don't even have to read each other's stuff. He
I know
sees the game the same way I do. So
Oh, that's super sweet.
It's a love
Yeah,
story.
I
It's
think
an
he's only
all-American
been
love
following
story.
soccer for like 9 months or something.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
an
pretty
American, so we
impressive.
didn't actually grow up with the sport.
So wait, you're like brand new on the sport?
That is not true.
James just said that you're 9 months in.
No, I think it's 2 years.
I think he's really just making fun of all of us as being raised
Okay.
in this
I
country.
never make
So,
fun of anybody.
Let's go. Let's Tarantino this. Since we're at the end now, let's go back to the beginning.
You guys
and
want
to-
to see this trophy case I
and
posted
to-
on Facebook?
Yeah, I know. I saw it already. My parents are doing the same thing. I went through all my old crap. His parents sold their house and they're moving, or his mom sold her house, moving, all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so how did you guys get started in the whole soccer, the joy of soccer, the love of soccer, and all that kind of stuff?
Who's going first?
Doesn't matter.
Well, we don't need yours because your shit's gonna be like 57 years old. So let's just move on.
I
to
think
this guy.
Cormac, other than like Peter Wilt or coaches or something like that,
Jesus.
is actually the oldest, one of the
He's
oldest
the
guests
fucking
on here.
oldest- He is. He's the oldest dude ever.
I was a
Sorry.
young boy with a beard.
You're a young
What kind
boy.
of question is that?
I don't know. I was just
Do
wondering.
you ask every lady he meets like how old they are?
Yeah, absolutely. I
I'm
do.
46. I don't care.
You're 46.
Are
God,
you
look
really?
great for 46.
Dude,
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
amazing for
I
46.
look 46.
You look 50. Yeah, I'm pretty sexy.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
help
true.
it.
Must be that
And I'm still playing as well.
overseas upbringing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like
You weren't-
playing.
You weren't
But you're
seasoned. You weren't seasoned by
Playing.
the American grind.
No.
I want to season by the American. Okay, so he's like.
So who's going to be who's going to have the
ready.
shorter soccer story?
No,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
grew up like everybody else did. YMCA stuff, transitioned into club soccer, a little bit of high school, and
Where'd
Division
you grow
3.
up? Where'd you grow up?
North Side Indy.
Okay.
I went to North Central, and then
So what club?
the Fighting Saints,
Oh,
St.
right.
Luke Saints.
The Fighting Saints.
St. Luke Saints. Yeah, we won a couple. You saw those trophies. We won a couple.
Yeah. All those. Listen, Aaron. On the Facebook, all those trophies look like participation trophies.
I will be honest. Four of them are participation trophies for sports.
One of them said Pine Pony Master.
It's like the
Ride the
6-year-old
bench.
kid at
It's
Taekwondo
true.
class who couldn't break the wood.
One of them,
true.
one of
Here's
them was
the
a,
medal anyway.
one was a 4-H trophy for growing corn.
My corn was known nationwide that year.
Because Monsanto did not get their hands
Knee
on
high
it.
by July, right?
At least I will.
Indiana.
At least 2 of them honestly say runner-up on them, which isn't.
But they gave that from second place all the way to 8th.
Is that a legitimate phrase?
Knee high by July, yes.
Dude,
Yes.
see, I didn't grow up on a farm or near
That
in
is
Wabash.
an Indiana farmer thing. It's your corn needs to be knee high by July in order to have it be,
It's true.
It's fascinating.
James, I'm
I'm gonna pipe in the more you know symbol into
need a
the.
star in the rainbow. Okay, so all right, sorry. So North Central. So you went to North Central.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a big ass school, dude.
My freshman year was actually the last year they won a championship, and I wasn't on the varsity team then. So,
Well, way to ruin it for everybody.
but I was going through all my old stuff, and I did find the ticket stub of when I attended the varsity match where they won their
What was your?
When did you graduate?
2000.
Oh, a year
All right.
after I did. Nice.
2 years after I did.
In the year 2000.
What position?
I'm a defender.
Okay.
Don't have the
It's
ball
that long
skill.
torso.
Oh, Cormack approves.
I'm a
Cormac
defender.
also defender.
You're a defender
Fullback,
at
yeah.
5'4".
I'm the Kyle Highland of my age group.
Oh, there you go.
Now, are you center back or you outside?
Fullback. Yeah.
Okay.
I played
you're
wing
Kyle
back.
Highland-
When I was a kid, I played right midfield, like winger. As I go older, I kind of drop back. So
And has how
I
many?
like to kick people.
I want to know. I want to know the story from the behind the tattoo as well.
What tattoo?
Your Indy 11 giant Indy 11 tattoo you have on your arm. And I remember when
that's what it is. I
when that-
got it. I think it was July.
it was like when the
2013.
team name was announced. I think it was, wasn't
it
it?
was July. No, it was July 2013. So it's the first one, and I just.
You're like, screw it, it's finally here. I'm going to do it.
No, I mean, it wasn't just a case of I was overexcited. It's like I really believe this is going to happen, and it will continue.
Yeah.
And it's not going to die.
So what if they change that shit back to Racing 11? Or so Racing's like, what happens? You go,
Racing Indy.
I thought,
Racing
I
Indy,
thought
yeah.
about
Racing
it.
Indy
and
FC.
Racing Indy FC.
Part
yeah.
of the logo is Lady Victory, which is part of the city. So even if they change, I don't care. It's like it's part
You
of
can
the
just
history
use-
of soccer. In
You
the
can
state.
use the red to go over Indy 11.
If they change their logo, I'll put it down.
Hey,
here.
you got more
It's not
arm.
a problem.
It's not like you're cut off at the elbow.
Yeah.
Oh, and these, there it is. You know what that is?
That's actually my
Celtic?
second tattoo.
That's
Yeah.
that's a Celtic.
Indy 11's my first team now.
So explain to me, why here is it the Boston Celtics and obviously it's Celtic? Why did they change that shit here? That's
Boston
stupid.
Celtics actually took their name from Glasgow Celtic.
Okay, so what's the difference between Celtic and Celtic?
Man,
Fair question.
I read
Yeah,
an
it is a
explanation
fair-
of this, and I
Stick with him
can't
on this.
remember
Don't let
it.
him.
Yeah,
don't let him wiggle out of
no,
this.
Yeah, come on.
Actually, if you go to Glasgow, they just say Celtic. So it's I don't know why it's S.
I
It's
feel
just
like
the way
that's a
it's
bullshit
been,
answer.
so-
I
It,
feel
it
like,
probably comes from the Gaelic language. I'm not sure.
well, Gaelic is Celtic. That's Celtic.
No, the Celts and the Gaels are two different races. So.
Right, but okay.
Yeah, I knew
I
that.
mean,
Man, you got shot down on that
that's
one.
not strictly true. I mean, the
You
Gaels,
said two
the
totally
Gaels
different
are
races.
the Gaels are Celtic, but the languages have changed over the years.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I
Okay,
just
there
really
it is.
don't know.
Bam, done.
Yeah.
What?
It's easier to pronounce.
You were the one guy that was literally, you were the guy that I was like really
No,
excited
I
to
have
get the
read
answer
the
for.
explanation before, but I can't remember it.
I
That's
feel
okay.
failed.
Let's just go to Wikipedia after the show and figure it out.
Why do they call Manchester United instead of shit? It's like
Oh, man.
But no, they're,
No one knows
they're
that.
not Manchester United. They're the Manchester Chevys. That's
Okay.
what they are. The Manchester Chevy Chases.
Is it Chevys or Chevrolets?
It's Chevy.
Chevy Chases. The Manchester Chevy Chases.
Are you sure it's not Chevrolets?
Chevrolet Chevy Chases.
You can change my name to Chevrolet
Man,
for
where the hell
200.
were
Yeah,
we?
whatever they paid to put that on their shirt, I'll tattoo it across my chest if they pay me the same
Yep,
amount.
I definitely would do that.
I don't know. And then Chelsea said, well, We like Yokohama. So
Yeah, really.
What's up?
We want to be
I mean,
MMA fighters, so we're just going to basically get Yokohama.
They're all about tires, baby. They're all about tires.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's because they don't have to use them when they're parking the bus all the whole time.
Okay.
hey, who won the title?
Yeah, I
last
get
year?
it. I get
Who
it.
won
We
the title
can
last year?
go one.
Do you need to look over there?
That's gross.
That's weird.
Why are you even like
Because
promoting
nobody ever
a
talks about nobody ever.
Jose Mourinho team?
There's
Jose
literally
Mourinho.
only one team I hate more than Rangers, and it's right there on the wall.
Yeah.
So,
And this guy has an intense, passionate hate for Jose
You know
Mourinho.
why I don't like Jose Mourinho? Besides the fact that he's just
And he's a Real Madrid fan.
Okay, so
Who's your club?
Holy, hold on.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
You can go first.
Did you
we
watch?
just totally bypassed
running
my
this
life story.
podcast.
So.
No,
We'll get
we
back to
didn't.
it.
No.
We know what
I-
we're doing. This isn't our first rodeo.
I'm trying to round back to that as well. But real quick, since we're talking about Jose Mourinho, did you watch the Arsenal?
Why the
Chelsea
fuck would I
game.
watch English football?
No,
The FA Cup.
It's-
Or
I
not
don't give a
the
shit.
Community Shield.
No,
Community Shield. Okay,
I think I was watching
Anybody
like
see
Hell on
Chelsea
Wheels or
lost.
something.
Chelsea
it
lost.
wasn't
Actually,
even
I was
about
playing
that.
video games.
So
Am I
Jose,
playing some FIFA?
Jose.
No, I was playing Thief
Ew, why? Gross.
because it was free.
Well, we can talk about FIFA too. We can talk about the Indy 11 lineup looking like the FIFA, like your team and your chemistry being all red lines. Because we could talk about that too. But so at the end of the game is really what it came down to was so Jose Mourinho stood there
Chris is
and shook
feeling it,
as
right?
they grabbed their trophy, the FA Shield, and they walked down and shook every single Arsenal player, assistant coach. And when Wenger came down, he fucking turned and bolted. Didn't look at him, did anything. Wenger stood there for a second. They're like, "Is he gonna shake his
'Cause they
hand?
hate each
Is he
other.
gonna shake
yeah,
his
there's
hand?"
history
And
there.
it's-
so
oh my
I wouldn't
God.
shake
And then
Mourinho's hand either.
Jose Mourinho took his medal too and just tossed it in the crowd. Gave it to like an Arsenal supporter. Said, "Okay, here you go."
Anyway, so back
Fair
to your
enough.
story. Back to your luscious.
How did you get started in soccer, Mr. Scotsman?
Well, I'm from Scotland.
Yes.
And that's obvious.
Where in
but,
Scotland?
I'm from the North Highlands. So as far as you can go, if you ever look at a map of the United Kingdom,
You're a
as
Highlander?
far as you can go all the way to the top on the north coast, there's a town in the middle called Thurso, and that's where I'm from. So
And when did you move here?
2002.
When did you chop off your first head and get the quickening?
It's a classic.
Well, there's Highlanders and Highlanders. There's different types of Highlanders.
No, there aren't
within the
Highlanders.
Highlands, so-
Listen,
I'm not going to recover
if
from
we're all
that joke.
if we're gonna be serious here, there aren't Highlanders because there can only be one.
Right.
So it is a Highlander.
Yes, I am a Highlander.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
for
why
sure.
that's why you're 52. You're actually 652.
I look like I'm 20 right now.
yeah,
so.
right.
You look so good for like 300 centuries.
Thank
You're amazing. So
What are you doing later?
It looks
So,
painful when you absorb their energy. What's
so
that
I
like?
come from a town that's literally 10,000 people and has a probably 13 soccer teams, adult level, and youth teams. So wherever you grew up in that town, I mean, you can split my town into 4 pieces. It's at either side of a river, and there's Mount Pleasant, Mount Vernon, Pennyland, and Ormley, and every
These all
section-
sounds like names.
Nobody
of
wants
That
to be
amusement-
means
from
nothing to you, but
sounds like
nobody.
names of amusement parks.
every quarter of that 10,000 people town has 1 or 2 or even
everybody
3
hates
soccer
everybody from
pitches.
Armley, don't they?
Yes.
Everybody hates that fucking. I can tell that name. Everybody's like Mount this, Mount. It sounds all pleasant. And the last one, you're like, you say I just
I got that
everybody
right.
hates
It would
Okay.
actually we actually called it the Atomics because the this is funny, but the part of town that I grew up in
Write that one down.
was the houses were all built for a nuclear power station that was built there, and they took like workers from all over the UK, and they needed houses for them to live in.
Yeah.
And my dad worked there, my mom worked there, so we were called the Atomics.
Oh,
So I'm
Nice.
an atomic.
you're an atomic.
Yes. Sounds stupid, but it's kind of cool. But anyway, like every quarter of the town had at least 2 or 3 soccer pitches in it, and it's the only sport there. When we went to high school, soccer was our main sport. I also played in the rugby.
No
team.
rugby. Okay.
I
there you
played.
go.
I was a wing half in the rugby team. We played softball, believe it or not, volleyball and basketball, and field hockey.
You were a slow pitch softball, right? Like really
no,
nice.
it was actual
All right.
base. No,
It's
it was softball. We played with the big ball.
Uh-huh.
But we threw.
You're
it
throwing
like
overhand?
baseball. Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's interesting.
We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah,
Like
it
we play
wasn't
soccer,
soft. It wasn't soft.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
weren't
What's
doing it
this
right.
stuff?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I love baseball in high school. But yeah, it's like the sport. I mean, if you grow up in, whether you grow up in France or Denmark or wherever,
golf,
it's like
too.
it's the sport. Yeah,
Golf.
I didn't play golf until I was in high school.
Dude, that's
but,
the birthplace of golf.
yeah, but every boy growing up in Scotland, it's like soccer.
Have you been to St. Andrews?
Yeah, we went on vacation when I was a kid almost every
Carnoustie.
year. I was at the Open in St. Andrews when I think it was 77 or 78 when Jack Nicklaus won it the year before and Seve Ballesteros beat him in that year. And me and my brother went up in the big scoreboard because back in those days it wasn't digital.
It was the
Are you
hand
sure
thing.
77? That was Tom Watson.
I think it was 78.
Okay.
It was either it may have been
All right.
78, 79. It was Jack Nicklaus and Ballesteros.
Yes.
So
Right.
um,
I'm out.
there was a we're meandering like,
Right? No,
like
no,
crazy
this is
right
what we do. This is what we do.
Yeah, I was
I
in
thought
St.
James
Andrews
and I had a
and,
love story, but you guys have something special.
Yeah, they
I was
do.
in St. Andrews and they had that big scoreboard at the 18th hole.
You
where
guys
it's
should
just a
explore
huge
that.
box
18/1
on top
Right.
of scaffolding,
1/18,
and there was
right.
one ladder to get up there. And me and my brother were like the most mischievous fuckers you've ever met. And we're just like, we're going up there. And we started putting words
You
up
put
on the
words
scoreboard like poop
at the Open.
and fart
This-
and
You don't understand.
No.
These are notes you need to take here.
Oh, I
You
apologize.
climbed the board. So
Yeah.
1 in 18.
me and my
St.
brother were
Andrews,
up in the scoreboard.
oldest course
Yeah.
ever. The old course.
It's beautiful.
It's 1 in 18 are the same. The period.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I don't know what you're saying, but yeah.
Okay.
1 in
St.
18.
Andrews.
Got it.
First 18 hole. There's a giant
They're
board.
like the same
That is huge.
number.
Okay.
Fair
you know
enough.
what? My point is if you climbed up there and changed that,
yeah.
like
We
That's a
we
history.
fucked with everything. I mean, we picked. There was like stacks of. They're like boards, just
look
like
up
wooden
St.
boards
Andrews.
that were yellow with numbers and letters on them, and we just like went through the whole alphabet and numbers and just
Oh,
started sticking
man.
everything
Was
up
it like a
there.
news story too, where somebody like caught it and took a picture of
No.
it and all that kind of stuff? That would have been awesome.
No one gave a shit. It
This
was
is
like an off day. So we were
1937.
like, what?
1937. It was like they just they literally just
Deep in the
changed
Depression.
It. They just changed it.
Yeah, but
They put up their buy us
In
food.
It's before cell phone cameras, so we're not even certain that it happened.
But outside of the golf, if anyone ever gets a chance to go to Scotland, visit St Andrews. It's one of the most beautiful towns.
Even the way you
will
say
ever visit.
St.
It's
Andrews
so beautiful.
is just amazing.
St Andrews,
Yeah, it's just St.
St Andy's.
It's doing something for him right now.
But anyway, back to what we were talking about. So yeah, I mean, it's like, anywhere in Europe, football is the sport. So if you're a kid and a boy, then you grow up with it. And I played from when I was like 6, and I was watching soccer back then on TV. We didn't have very many live games on TV back then, so you got a highlight program every week. And my dad was actually a Partick Thistle supporter, and I grew up. My first couple of years watching the game was a Partick Thistle supporter, and then as I started to watch TV, I saw Celtic and saw Jimmy
grew on
Johnson,
you.
who's one of the greatest players ever, and just started to fall in love with them. And my dad was actually, I think, secretly a Celtic fan. It's like his
Sure he
second
was.
club, so
Yeah.
he was like didn't
I've-
complain. So
I have a Scottish club I'm actually a big fan of. The Hearts of Midlothian.
Hearts of good.
I love Hearts.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Hearts of Midlothian.
They're going to be a big hit in the SPL this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. They went down. They got
Yeah.
relegated 2 years ago.
Right.
They took a new owner in. It's a woman. I can't remember her name, but she's the female director now.
Yeah.
She's putting money behind the club and taking older coaches and players back. They blew the championship away last year. 4-0, 3-0, 5-0, 6-0 every
Done.
week.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to be a big splash in the SPL this year.
I like them.
But yeah,
It's
I,
random. Andy's like, listen, so
another
here goes. He's
well,
like,
you can just call them
this is
Hearts.
like-
I mean,
this
Hearts,
is great.
Heart of Midlothian.
I'm
is the long
loving it. I'm
name.
just
I
taking
know,
it in.
but it's you don't get to say that. Like I like that. Like it's part of the Midlothian. Like, it's good. Anyways, all right.
So yeah, I mean,
Sorry, man.
where
The
I come
names are
from,
better. The names are better overseas for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Where I come from, you're born into it, so it's
Yeah.
you don't really have much choice unless you just want to
So
be.
20 minutes later, when
Unless
he
you
says,
wanna
I was
be-
born into it. Done, and that's how I started my
if you want to
soccer.
be the kid that nobody talks to, it's,
It's a bloody
I'm going to play
shambles.
this
Don't like
pod again
football?
tonight as my
What's
bedtime
wrong with
story.
you?
Or if you want to get beat up, you say your favorite sport is hurling.
Yeah.
Hmm.
if someone asks you what team you support in Scotland and you don't want to get beat up, you say you're a Partick Thistle fan.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Because if you say you're a Celtic fan, Rangers fans are going to beat you up. Say you're a Rangers fan, Celtic fans are going to beat you up. Nobody gives a shit about Partick Thistle. So
All right.
So who's your club?
Oh,
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Aaron. I'm with the Indiana Sports Report, and we're back. Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're in the championship right now.
Wolves.
The Wolves.
It's the longest name, I think, in professional sports, and that's really what drew me to it. It's just obnoxious to even get it all out.
Do it again.
Great team. I like
Wolverhampton
Wolves.
Wanderers.
You can call them Wolves.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah,
You
can't.
can.
You can't just call them the Wolves.
But again, it's back to the name. Like you can just call them Hearts. You can just call them Wolves. Stop.
You can just call them Wednesday.
You can.
Wednesday.
You can. But anyway, the Wolves, they were in the battle to get promoted, to get to the playoff spot, and they just came up short. It's really as hipster as you can possibly get following a team that just isn't cool enough to make it to the EPL. You guys that follow EPL teams.
No,
me, not him.
No. I know EPL teams, all of them.
He just doesn't follow.
I'm a La Liga. I'm a Real Madrid. I have been. Don't fucking judge me however you want to. I can see this. I can feel it. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah.
Plastic.
No, it's the history of it. Everybody is, well, outside of you, is
No, when you have an
States-
unlimited
in the
budget, it's
States-
really cool.
Yeah.
You know they were
Super
Franco's team, right? And Hitler influenced the players that went to
Sure.
the team.
Absolutely. Let's just bring Hitler into this. That's perfect. Excellent. Let's just do that. Yeah.
It's a quality family show.
Excellent. Excellent.
I think that might be the first Hitler reference on the permanent
That was-
relegation
oh my
podcast.
God.
Sorry, Chris.
Won't be the last.
No, it's okay.
And he says,
So-
sorry, Christian, at the end.
So for me, here in the States, it's really easy. There's two main clubs that you really see. Well, I mean, you have EPL as a league and as clubs wise, but you have your giant German and you have a giant English influence, and so you have people that are like, "Oh, I'm a Bayern fan." Nobody ever says they're a Bayern Leverkusen fan. No, it's I'm a Bayern Munich fan.
I'm a Bayern
okay.
Yeah, when someone says Bayern,
Which
you're not
Bayern?
like,
Bayern.
Leverkusen or-
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've seen them play, and they played against Celtic. I've been a fan for a while.
they play like a machine. Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
they're
And-
robots.
Yeah, you know what? We
Yeah.
could talk about Pep Guardiola
they're
too.
dumb.
Oh God, it's so great to be a coach where you just come into a team that just has tons of talent and now go to Man City next year and more talent. Anyways, greatest coach ever. So, but with
tell he
La
loved him at
Liga,
Barcelona.
Real Madrid.
God, Pep is a so. But La Liga for me, I've always appreciated that style. The Spanish style is a little different, obviously, than EPL. EPL is a little more abusive. It's physical. It's La Liga and Spanish soccer in general it's very much like South American soccer in a lot of ways. It's kind of technical. There's a lot of creativity. There's speed. There are some physical teams. Atletico has proven that for the last 3-4 years. They just beat the shit out of you for 90 minutes. Yeah,
That's
it's
my
hard.
Spanish team.
Obviously, as a crosstown rival, you hate them, but the way they play, they're not scared of anybody, and especially since oh my gosh, help me, coach, player,
Raul.
no, came in to coach Atletico.
Oh, it's
Slickback,
the
yeah.
guy from Chile. Is he from Chile?
No, it's
come
on,
it's
come
on
on.
the tip of my tongue.
Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. That's the type of player. Yes,
He said,
Argentinian.
yeah, he's
Yes,
Argentinian.
yes.
Yeah, it's Costa. Is it?
No, Costa's the guy who's always injured and can't play
Diego.
any games. Diego Simeone.
Simeone,
Yes. The physical player and brought that mentality. in.
He is
So-
Argentine.
But So I've always appreciated that, and
From
went
the
back
South.
to Di Stefano, and back really when I became a fan of Figo. I was a
like
huge
Di
Figo.
Stefano.
Yeah, and Figo for me, I love Luis Figo.
Busquets.
Yeah. So that's the difference. Is here in the United States, it's pretty just common. You just go EPL. Nobody knows anybody. in
Argentina had
Bundesliga.
It's easier to follow when there's more drama, and so when you show the
You're
whole
exactly
league,
right. Yes.
when you show the
Parody.
whole league, you get the
Parody.
story arc, you get the beginning, middle, and end, and that's helpful as a fan to really be
Why
invested
not the Scottish
emotionally.
Premier League? Because there's no parity there anymore because it's just basically Celtic who wins everything. Always.
Argentina had
But
a
you
pretty,
you don't need the parody as much as you need a storyline, and that's why they promote it the same way, and that's why they have those time slots devoted to pregame and really want to hammer in.
Do you think it's a story, or do you think it's that there's a direct tie to
I
England?
guarantee you, Americans crave the story. That's why when you watch the Olympics, you see those
Uh-huh.
backstories on all those people for 45 minutes before they do their gymnastics floor routine. Like,
So what's the backstory with EPL?
Typical news guy.
I mean, what's your story? What's the?
Well, what I'm saying is why it's finally being promoted in national television.
Yeah,
you get to see every single team now.
Right.
It used to be it was just Chelsea, and it used to be just Man U. I mean, like whoever they were playing was the only team you ever saw.
I don't think I've ever seen a QPR game on NBC.
It used to be if they were playing Man U.
Oh,
sure.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even say
seen
now.
QPR games in Union Jacks. I'm assuming it was on NBC.
I think it was with
Were
NBC.
they playing
Man U, Chelsea, or
well,
Man
no,
City,
but it's
or-
also with NBC Sports, the online, like the live extra thing where you can watch every game all the time anyway.
Union
And I
Jacks
think
pays for that too, which is
I think
awesome.
what your point is too is it kind of goes along with what Aaron is saying, is that because it can be the story, but I think the Premier League is probably out of all the big major soccer clubs that NBC could have just latched onto, because of the parity between teams, and you don't know what's going to happen from one week to another. Yeah, there's always going to be the top 4 or 5 that are pretty much the same, but a lot of times it's that parity of talent that
So
people
can I
that
ask you-
Americans want to see.
So can I ask you?
Sure.
Then, is the parity because every team is that good, or is the parity because none of the teams are actually that good? All those players that are supposedly amazing are great when they get on a world stage, fizzle, they fade, and this has been proven
like
time and
Gareth
time
Bale?
again.
You need to be emotionally invested.
Okay,
So that's what the deal is.
All right.
It doesn't matter if they're
I like
that
this guy. Immediately,
outstanding.
he's like emotional. He went right to emotionally invested. I'm in. I'm right here with what you're saying.
They don't have to be that awesome. You have
Okay.
to know who they are and what they did last week.
What? Okay.
Oh, you lost me, or I lost you.
No, I got you. I know what you're talking
So-
about.
Yeah.
When I say you have to be emotionally invested, you get to see them week in and week out, and you get to watch their successes and failures, and so you care. If you only get to see one game, you don't care. And so, like Real, for example, you don't get to see all their games throughout the season.
I do.
Oh,
Well,
It's
you
called
do.
with
BN
BN,
Network.
yeah.
BN Network. Absolutely. Yes. BN. Yeah. No. You're exactly right. For the longest time, that was always a complaint. Absolutely was. You could see those games and whatever. But now, BN. I can watch every La Liga game. As I
Yeah, with
want
the
to,
internet,
but-
you can watch whatever
so-
game you want anytime you want.
But to his point, you're right. Emotionally invested, and you do. You become emotionally invested. To
Plus,
whatever
there is
team.
an obvious difference between the coverage, like the actual. I'm not talking about like physical coverage, because I love BN's coverage. Their commentary is like the best in soccer, and
Dude,
then
Ray Hudson alone. Ray Hudson. I love Ray Hudson. I
Can't
don't
stand
care.
Ray Hudson. Sorry.
But he's
Cormack
just
hates Ray
hilarious.
Hudson.
He's hilarious, though. It's not just Cheerios.
oh my god, it's like he has a thesaurus and he's just
Yeah.
flipping it
Didn't he used
out.
to commentate on darts?
Probably still
I think
does.
he did, yeah.
Probably still does.
That's where he gets
And
the
maybe
showbiz.
you want to
thing
get really
from.
super
Yeah.
philosophical.
Yeah.
Let's drop it.
Okay.
We're more connected to the English teams. We have that connection to English teams than we do to Spanish teams.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just think that it's
That
easier to
was
follow
Chris-
teams
that's
from
what I
London.
said. That was Chris's point from
That's
the
what I
very
said,
get go.
like,
They
Yeah.
speak
20
English
minutes
too,
ago.
so-
Yeah, they do
Oh,
speak
I'm sorry.
English.
No, it's good.
Racist.
You know what?
You're probably right.
It's a new love story. Right now.
I love you. It's good. Cormac's like, okay.
I'm just listening because I don't watch the English Premier unless
Right.
it's Southampton, because I do follow Southampton, but otherwise.
So Southampton's your
just
English,
don't watch it, yeah.
your English club. You
Yeah,
basically
I
have
grew
a
up
club for
supporting Man
every.
United, but I lost interest in Man United when they became a bank and suits and
Sure.
yeah. But I grew up. When you grow up in Scotland, everyone has their favorite Scottish team, but it was cool to have an English team. And
Right.
Man United was my team when I was growing up.
They
But
had 55 midfielders that can't do anything.
yeah.
And
I was also a big fan of Leeds United, dirty Leeds. Like everyone does not like Leeds. I love Leeds United because of the amount of Scottish players they had when I was growing up. And I got into Southampton when Gordon Strachan went there. And recently they've signed several Celtic players, so I just kind of follow them.
you know who nobody likes?
Hmm.
Any Italian teams. Nobody comes on and says, I'm a
Oh,
huge
no.
cheating Juventus.
I
Them.
love
I
Fiorentina is probably one of my most favorite teams since the 80s. I love Fiorentina.
Neither one of the Milans.
I love
I'm
Inter.
I'm an Inter Milan fan because Inter has a huge relationship with Celtic because we beat them in the Champions.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we have that
Yeah.
big cup that
Right.
people try to win. We won it in 1967, and we beat Inter Milan.
Yeah.
But we've always had a special relationship with that club since then. and also with Sporting Lisbon because we played in their ground. And,
Right.
and so
quick.
I like
little-
Napoli as well. So.
Yeah, okay. Yes. And
Now you're
Because
just
of
naming
Maradona,
cities.
and,
Now you're just naming cities.
Right.
I like Fiorentina because of Gabriel Batistuta. Because when it first came on, I
Batistuta,
like Argentina
Batistuta.
players. I like
Yep.
Argentina players, and when it first came on
Absolutely.
TV in the UK on Channel 4,
Yep.
Serie A was a big deal because that was the first time they ever put a league outside of the United Kingdom on regular television in the United Kingdom. Serie A was the first. And everybody, they called the program Calcio, and it's like everybody jumped on it. And it's like I saw Fiorentina play, and I saw Batistuta play, and I was like, "It's my team."
So, side story, really quick. I got into a slight beef with a guy here at the bar, literally here. So right before the Real Madrid Juventus setup here was, hey, well, you have to root for those guys and against Real Madrid because they're just that team you have to root for. I said, wait. I said, why? He goes, because Real Madrid's corrupt and they do this. I said, wait. So how long have you been, are you a fan of Juventus? And they go, yeah, absolutely. I said, you are? I said, how long have you been a fan? They said, they're like, like forever. And I said, do you have a year you've been a fan? Can you give me a specific year? And like, no, it's been at least 10 years. I said, literally 10 years? I said, okay, because when you go back to 2006, 2007, I said they had to literally give up the league title because of the largest ever in the history of soccer corruption scandal ever.
Match fixing, everything.
He just kind of looked at me. He looked at me.
Fiorentina was involved in that too,
Right.
and so was Lazio.
Mark was
Lazio.
standing there, and Mark from Jeremy goes, and he kind of walks away. He goes, I can't help you, buddy. He just walks away and said, well, I'm glad that you're rooting for
those
honesty.
of you listening on the radio or on the internet, that was a hand to the face gesture.
No, they could see.
I can see it up there.
It's right there, bro.
No,
Wave to the camera.
It's well known in
I
Europe.
have never watched your podcast.
well known
I have
in-
listened to all of them.
It's well known in Europe that
It's okay.
Italy is the most corrupt football country in the world. There's books written about Serie B and Serie C
Yeah.
and betting scandals. I mean, there's books written about it.
Right.
It's the most corrupt organization.
So
Not the organization, but just
Right.
the people
That's
that are
right,
working
right.
around
Yeah,
it
yeah,
and betting scandals and stuff.
I feel like it's time to transition to Indy 11.
Well, let's
I know.
let's take a second because we actually had a contest on Twitter
We did.
to give away 2 Brickyard Battalion.
I won.
seats.
Surely I won that shit.
No, you didn't win.
Oh, come on.
You can't win anyway.
You
You've got
just
press pass.
discounted
You
me
can go whenever
because
you
I
want.
was going to be on the podcast.
Well, that's true too. We just discounted you because you're James Cormack. But anyway, who did we pick for the winner there?
Kyle.
Roger.
No. It's
We had a picture that was taken by our own Chris Ball of Janicki and Corey.
It's like the
And then
worst
they're
picture
jumping
you
up-
could put.
It's a
there was
fantastic
no.
photo.
The point was
Caption contest. This picture is terrible. What are you
the picture's fantastic because Janicki looks terrified of something, and you go, "What?" And then Corey Miller's up above him, and he looks like some weird like lion. Just
And Christian's behind it,
and
like
Christian's
super
like
pissed.
That wasn't
super-
the first thing I looked at. I was looking at the people in the East End with sunglasses on.
right. So somebody made a comment about that. They're like, "We
That was
can't."
me.
So somebody was like, they're like, we can't see anything over there on the East End because it's too bright. But the best comment that came out was from Andy. Do you have it?
Kyle Crawford
Kyle Crawford. What?
Kyle, Mr. Cincinnati.
Yes.
Yep. What do you say?
At XU Thundercats.
Ooh, Thundercats.
Probably
That does
Xavier
not surprise me at all.
University.
He
Xavier
flies the
University.
Thundercats
Yep.
flag at the tailgate.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that
and,
dude.
and if you look at
He wears. He
permanent,
has the shirt with Cincinnati
Alright.
written on the back.
so if you have permanentrelegation.com/media, there is a photo of the whole setup there with all of his flags, and there is the Xavier flag,
Yep.
and there is the Thundercats flag,
Yep.
and the Indy 11 flag,
Yep.
and I swear the Indiana flag. There's at least 6 flags.
the
that are
first
there.
time I came across Kyle was last year in 2014 at the tailgates, and he used to park like further to the west.
Yeah.
And he literally would cook way too much food every single week, and he would stop people walking past his car and say,
Do you want some food?
"You want some poppers and some jalapenos?"
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Hold
wait,
on. He
wait.
offered you poppers?
Yeah,
Oh,
jalapeno
well,
poppers.
that's
dude,
a drug.
every week. But now he parks at the east
He does.
end.
He's
There you
right,
go.
Right.
There it is.
Barnhill. That's it. Yep.
So
Yes.
Kyle has won 2 free tickets to the Brickyard Battalion.
And his
section.
quote was,
Christian's gonna kill us.
"Oh
Because in the background, it looks like he's gonna
Christian's
murder
gonna
somebody.
kill us." Right. Right. There was a couple that were really good, but that's exactly it.
The flag's flying. Indy 11, it's IXI, and then Indy 11, it's the official flag.
Yep.
Thundercats,
Mhm.
American Outlaws Cincinnati, and Tottenham.
Honorable mention, Greg Janicki.
Greg Jenkins.
I throw it up.
I
and
throw it
Corey
up.
goes to catch
Corey goes and gets it.
it. It's like he's his trick dog at the halftime show.
because the original tweet was who did this
Better.
better,
The dog.
Janicki or Corey Miller or the dog and his owner,
The agility dog at
the
halftime.
agility dog. It was amazing. So all right, so Indy 11.
Yes. I wanted to start off with your guys's.
Yo guys.
You guys.
Yeah, guys.
Forget about it.
The perfect starting 11 for Indy. Yeah, it's here.
Someone answer the phone. Jeez.
I'll get it.
But anyway, so if you were creating the lineup,
Who's your perfect 11?
Who would you be your perfect 11 for the team right now? And that's including Marvin, who was just announced like an hour before. Marvin Ceballos, who was announced an hour before the show basically started.
Is that the cartel guy?
Yeah, he's Guatemalan, so maybe.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
He is
You want to check that
Guatemalan.
again? You want to check that it's Guatemalan?
Where's he
You
from?
want to
man?
check where's he from?
He's Guatemalan. Oh, my fault. He's not Guatemalan. Look it up.
He's Guatemalan.
I have to do this because sometimes he'll say some shit, and I literally have to just go, "Are you sure?" He go,
You know what?
He's
Today,
Panama-Namian.
listen, first off,
"You're on it today."
first off tonight,
You're on it today.
Chris is off tonight. I've had to correct him 3 times
No,
already.
He's Puerto
Twice.
Costin.
It's
Third of
fine.
all,
2 times with a question, and then once with an Andy question on the earlier segment. You kind of trailed off into 9 questions in 1 question.
Okay, sounds good. Moving on.
Anyway, your perfect 11.
I don't know anything about this guy. Is he going to be in the squad?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, he'll probably be
Ottawa.
in the squad.
For real?
Not
Ottawa.
tomorrow.
Ottawa.
For
For
Saturday.
real?
Yeah,
Ottawa.
he's eligible on Saturday.
Hey, this is what we do. We just get a brand new player. Oh,
that's a good idea.
Lost my
we get
headphones.
a brand new player. We
You good
throw
now?
them in the lineup. Wait.
a minute. No, you're in there. You're right there.
Adjust him. Those are them ones.
Nice.
Those are them ones. I'd
You
ask
got a
you
short on it.
Shitty cable. Yeah.
if you
Is that better?
need some new ones.
Okay, so he's going to be in. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm still not going to talk about him because I have no idea who he is.
That's my point. We just throw in whoever.
How about this?
We get new
He's
players.
23.
Mm.
He played for the Guatemalan national team.
Suspended the
last Yeah. He scored 8 times in 69 games.
Whoa.
3
So
goals.
another slash and
Three-
He's
three
a-
goals.
attacking midfielder. Right?
Yes,
Attacking
he is
midfielder.
attacking midfielder.
super attacking. Just
Slashing. Tim Regan says he is a talented and positive addition to the team that brings another dynamic attacking presence to our midfield.
That doesn't surprise me.
Why is that, Aaron?
And needle. I mean,
Sorry.
That doesn't surprise me
So
because it's a marketing
I
tactic.
caught it. I know.
We've talked
Sorry.
about this before.
I don't get it. Is
You
there
don't want to promote
more
a player
information about
as-
this player that we need to know?
As a sluggish, overweight,
Oh, we can't talk about it.
underage.
Probably not. Let's just say he's.
But it's common knowledge to the rest of the world.
Yeah, you can look it up.
Dude, you can fucking go to the Wikipedia page
Yeah,
and
okay.
it says,
That's
hey,
what Andy's
hello.
done
So
right
okay, so we signed a guy
Yeah.
who was suspended for 2 years from 2012 to 2014 for
Right.
testing positive for steroids.
It's just a performance enhancing drugs.
from what
PEDs.
And
we
he's
were
not
told-
playing baseball?
For what?
First of all,
we were
if we're going to
told-
talk about performance enhancing drugs, what about Ottawa? I mean, I'm going to shift
What?
you all together.
Oh,
They came out of nowhere. They've been juicing hardcore.
that
You just
views by Aaron Gunyon from the Indiana
on
Sports
his own?
Report. It did not represent
No.
that of Permanent Relegation Podcast.
This is like a
I think-
classic
I
relegation
think-
podcast, and I love this.
Test
think
the
we
He
whole
switched
switched
damn
from
old
full
school.
fat bacon to lean bacon.
Oh my god!
Sorry.
All right, we'll go back.
Tall Torso
Is that
says
why they're so
Ottawa
aggro?
is a cheating city.
That needs to be the Twitter.
Tall Torso says Ottawa's
So I have a lot of
cheating-ass
things
city.
bouncing around right now.
All right.
One is I love how you did the Spanish pronunciation of Ceballos,
Ceballos.
but I keep thinking Cedric Ceballos in my head. So I'm like, I
Ceballos.
can't do
It's
it.
Ceballos. Right.
Yeah, so his name's Marvin, so it doesn't
Oh,
sound.
Marvin's room.
The
Marvin
FIFA
Ceballos
suspension.
sounds a
The
lot
FIFA
more.
suspension is actually on the media release from Indy 11
Is it?
on the website.
Okay, so I guess we didn't I don't know, burn
Served a
bridges
2-year
tonight.
FIFA sanctioned suspension from February 2012
Wait. I'm just
through
gonna say-
January of 2014.
I'm going to do this. Listen, again.
But we
this-
got him.
This is not Indy 11's view or Brickyard Battalions. This is me. So if FIFA suspends you, FIFA. Let me just put this. FIFA.
This is not my
There's
podcast,
no
so I'm not
corruption.
responsible.
FIFA.
Say whatever the hell I want.
Even on your podcast, you say whatever the hell you want.
Who wants the sausage or pepperoni Totino's? That's what you say. Right. Got it. So, anyways, moving forward.
Diet Mountain Dew? All I see is regular Mountain Dew.
6 people ahead of you, Jimmy. I hear you, Grandma.
Ceballos had the international spotlight shown on him as part of the Guatemala side that competed in the 2011 FIFA U20 World Cup.
You guys are not going to have any more players on your podcast. You know that, right?
Yeah,
No,
we
we
are.
will. Yeah,
Oh, we totally are.
It's just going to be
Probably
me,
not him.
All
James.
right. So
for
why
the
do you
rest of
think
the
we're
season.
here?
probably not Marvin, to be honest.
Not Marvin's room.
We're basically here because they couldn't get anyone to come on this podcast.
It's because they're going
Because
on tomorrow.
most of
like,
them are in
tomorrow.
Edmonton
They have a
tonight.
game tomorrow.
They're in
Right.
Edmonton
listen.
right
Don't
now.
listen, Aaron.
I know
They're
one
lying to you.
person who could have been here tonight.
Well,
Dylan.
yeah.
4 to 6 weeks, he could be here.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
We couldn't get it in time because
We couldn't get him here because there's like 3 steps to get up to this podcast.
Oh.
Too soon.
Damn, son. Why you gotta hurt that guy
I
like
love
that?
Dylan.
It's,
yeah.
it's a meniscus.
he was great. He was great in the
Meniscus.
euchre tournament.
My
Dylan was fantastic in the euchre tournament.
It was.
Talking mad
is he
shit.
here?
Oh yeah, he was.
Not as good
Him
as
and
the
Kyle.
rings.
Euchre,
Not as
back
good
to
as
my
the
notes.
rings. The rings.
Euchre, yeah. Oh, the rings. The rings
So,
made it the farthest.
We were talking lineups.
Yes. Sorry. Dream 11 lineups. for
Sorry
Indy
to
11.
phrase it.
My,
All right, here we
not
go.
my podcast back on track.
No. Derailment.
So,
that's what we want.
Starting 11,
Do it.
you could have whenever you wanted.
If I had to play a starting 11 this week, after watching the game
For Saturday, not tomorrow.
played, for Saturday?
Against Ottawa.
No,
This is way too confusing.
Why? Just over on no.
We're playing
Just tomorrow.
ever.
Anybody.
Ever.
Doesn't matter who
There,
it gets against.
there are 35 people on the Indy 11 roster.
Saturday against
30.
Ottawa?
I think it's 37 now because they signed 2 other players they haven't announced, so it's 37 now.
But I can't tell you who I'd like to play on Saturday until I see who plays tomorrow. We don't know if Dick Lacroix is coming
Cleberson
back.
is starting in goal.
No, you know who's on the.
Okay,
let me
okay.
make this simple.
I got it.
You know who's on the roster. Who do you want as your ultimate amazing?
Who's your best
fantasy
11?
My best
11?
11,
Who's your best
Jesus.
11?
There we go.
which will include Mayers, even though he can't play.
That's fine.
Okay. So my best 11 right now would
Start
be
in the back. Starting a keeper.
John Dawson. No.
Does he have a driver or does he have a sandwich?
Well, let's just put next in goal. So let's get that out of the way. So yeah, it would be Kyle Highland, Corey Miller, Eric Morales, Marco Franco, and the midfield Pineda on the left, Mayers at the top of the midfield, Ring behind him, and Stoichkov on the right.
So you play more of a diamond, like a
Yeah,
4-1-2-1-2.
I mean, I'm just going by
Okay.
what we've been
Okay.
playing. And up front, I would have Warshik and Lacroix.
I like it.
All right. What would you have, sir? I look at with the pencil on your lip. What would you have?
So I told you about this love story where James and I don't disagree a lot. But what I would like to see is Richards on the left. Pineda can play both sides, I think, and he has played both sides for the team. Put Pineda on the right. That's the only
But
difference.
why would you put Pineda on the right? If
Is he
plays on the
naturally left?
Yeah.
Well, I want-
People have told me that Richards plays on the left, but I think Richards mostly played with the Red Bulls on the right.
On the right. He
Yeah.
did.
okay.
You are correct.
Then switch it.
This son of a bitch over here.
But I wouldn't put Richards in because I think Stoichkov has not done anything to lose his
Well,
place.
no. And if you
Rich-
watch him against the Silverbacks, he was literally the MVP of the team.
I agree.
That guy was
Best.
Stoichkov. He was. God, the guy just. He was there on every play.
He drew.
wrote. Yes.
He probably drew about 15 fouls
He
during
did.
that game.
He broke some dude's ankle,
Dude,
too.
I got some good shots of him multiple times, but the one he made the dude fall down. And the guy needed ankle insurance, period, because he was done. It
If you're
was
talking
over.
about best 11, though, you're talking about a player that played 300-something games in the MLS. There's no question that Richards is a higher quality class player. I don't think that Stoichkov has done enough to lose his position.
right, so
Yeah,
why are we
true.
playing? So why do we play Dane Richards as a forward / striker?
I don't
Striker.
know. Let me tell you this. This was awkward to me. So Indy 11 put him on their roster page. They put Dane
As
Richards.
midfield.
They put him actually on the first day that they signed him as a forward.
Yeah, and then they
I don't know
moved
what
him
that
now.
was about. And I called him out. I don't
They
know if they
moved him
care
now.
what I post on Twitter, but I called him out.
What? Wait, whoa, you. What happened to Maz? Did you take Maz? Did you
No,
take him
she's
to the
just
back?
cleaning up
I'm just
stuff.
saying.
Can you
did you
settle
take
down?
Maz? And did you snuffed him out and he's done? There's no more Maz?
Let me ask you this: do you have a beard?
Do you have a beard?
Then you cannot serve this table. Go away.
Yeah, you can mark it in.
I don't even
fair
know who
enough.
Maz is, so I'm happier with. What's her
You're
name?
happy
Maz
with
is right there. She's related to Maz. There you go.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Oh, and then there's this guy.
I know this guy.
Oh,
What?
you sound like Archer.
Oh, that would be a fantastic
So-
compliment. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right.
I sound like
Wow.
a drunk international superstar.
Danger zone. Okay, so all right, so you're starting 11. All right, so Dane was originally as a forward. Moved
All right,
back to midfield.
I don't care what side they're on. You tell me, James.
You tell me when I was poking you with a pencil.
I do want Dylan up top for us because he's played so well and because he is one of the best players on the team. Four assists, 3 goals. How do you take him out of the lineup? One of the most productive players we have. Brad Ring has proven himself at central defensive midfielder, no question. So a real debate for anybody is we have a lot of forwards. Who do you put up top? Wojciech has a huge heart. Woj.
And he has a lot of talent.
Yep.
And
Huge
great
heart.
foot skill.
I interviewed him after a game. I was lucky enough to get a brief second with him.
Yeah.
And you could hear in his voice like how much the game meant to him.
Yep.
They fell short, and I think it was after the Louisville Open Cup game. And you could hear just how much he cares about being on this team and providing goals and other services for the team. So I'm angrily doing something.
So back to your top. What's your top word on your list there?
Euchre.
And he is passionate about that as well.
Yeah, he is.
More than any player on the team, he's passionate about that.
Heart.
Euchre.
Something
You can't
about
coach
Woj.
heart. You can't coach heart. You want players with huge heart, and you want it on your team. You want somebody who's invested emotionally.
Something about Woj. I mean, you know me. I follow everything, and I never miss anything. So I went to
Right.
the preseason games. And the first time I saw Woj was against Louisville at
That was at the University of Indianapolis, right?
University of Indianapolis. And I'm like, what the hell? This guy can't get on the end of anything.
Right.
What the hell are you doing? It's like maybe it was his first day on the job. And then I watched him against Bradley, and it was like, no, this guy's going to take a lot of work to get him into the first team. But what I'll say about Woj, since he got into the starting lineup and played at a higher level in the NASL, he's grown every single game he's played. He learns real fast. He works real hard in the midfield. He distributes. He sees passes. He makes smart passes. He keeps them on the ground. He doesn't chip them up in the air. He comes back to the 18-yard line in defense, and he can score goals. And his last 2 games before the Ottawa game, he scored a goal in each game, and his performance in the whole 90 minutes in each of those games is impeccable. He's improving all the time. And in the Ottawa game,
He did. I think he missed his mark on that
well,
first
he was
goal.
played out of position in the Ottawa game. He
I
was played in
understand.
an attacking midfield, which was like different for him.
He didn't track a run though.
And then he was dropped. So I don't know if he's actually picked up a knock or an injury or something, but I think it was totally unfair.
Because he just came in against the Silverbacks and immediately.
Yeah.
So we decided to play a game plan where we're playing again an extremely tall back line, an extremely tall and athletically gifted keeper with the Silverbacks, and we decided to play a game where we tried to play in the air. And it was funny because when Woj came in, you're right, and we have a photo where
I think
Woj
the word for
gets
that type of game is
right. And Woj, you know what? But Woj came in, and what's funny is we had some great opportunities at that point. And you had a guy that could jump out the building, that's tall, that could jump out the building and compete with that. But in the first half, you had guys that were small. That's not their game. So no, you're exactly right. And I don't know if there's a knock on it, like an injury or anything, but
It's
just
tall,
weird to
but
me.
He's extremely good with the ball at his
he
feet.
absolutely is for being that tall.
He's
That's-
strong.
Yes.
He's strong too.
Yeah.
And he can
If you
shake
compare
people
him
off.
to, I
That
mean, if you go
Polish
back
strong.
to 2014 and look at Ben
So strong.
Spencer,
Yes.
I mean, the difference between Woj
Right.
and Ben Spencer.
Ben Spencer
Night
has
and day.
foot skill, absolutely, but he is not
Nah,
strong.
Ben Spencer couldn't trap a ball worth a shit.
Really?
Yes.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I just still think he was strong. I'll
the
tell you what
air,
he was strong
not too
at.
bad.
He was strong at trapping girls here at Chatham.
Yeah, I
he was
was here.
amazing.
I was
He was
here.
amazing.
I got
You
photos
were?
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was after a Brickyard Battalion meeting.
Oh
Yeah.
man, Ben Spencer was amazing at trapping double chicks.
I mean, to be fair to Ben Spencer, he's a young player as well, and is still coming up through the game. But my biggest problem last year was like when he was fired a pass at him low and hard on the ground, he had real problems keeping it close.
He's
himself.
also not fast.
Yeah,
like he's 6'5", and if it's not in the air,
if you watch Wars in the game like the 2 games before Ottawa, when a ball gets played to him along the ground real hard and fast, he stops it dead.
Yeah,
I mean, and he knows what he's doing, and he's got that experience. So.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
Andy, who do you want to see as your top 11?
Cleverson.
Yeah, Cleverson in goal.
I didn't think about Cleverson.
Cleverson in goal. Cleverson in goal.
Christian up top.
Paul Telfer at fullback.
Yeah.
Yes, and I want to see Tim Regan in the back.
Tim Regan at center back.
Center back.
I'm only fielding 5.
What's wrong with Yeo?
Peter
What's
Wilt.
our goalkeeper coach? Yeo. Put him in goal.
Peter Wilt in the middle as a D mid.
Are you saying something about Peter Wilt's middle?
And John Kaluder out left.
I played with John Kaluder. You don't
No,
want to start him.
I will take Molly Kruger as my center attacking
There you
mid.
go.
Absolutely, because that girl can score goals.
I've played
Oh my
against
God.
her many times.
And
She's a
Molly
beast.
Kruger is awesome.
And break ankles.
And my wife played with her for years and years and years, and Carmel and all that.
Tom
So,
Dunmore
and-
is a really good player too.
Yeah. All right.
And
So I'll take
is
Tom
Guijo.
Dunmore.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Oh,
Sounds good.
Gijo. Got to throw Gijo in there
Oh,
too.
hell yeah, dude.
Forgot about that.
Gijo's tall enough. I bet I could play him up as striker.
No, I beat him in PKs.
Brad
I beat him.
Newbold. Brad Newbold came into soccer like in the pickups we did at IPY last year and played in goal.
Yeah.
He learned real quick. He could be a good goalkeeper, Brad Newbold.
Well, we have to put you on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, duh. Obviously.
Striker.
No, right back. I'm
Everyone
putting you-
wants to be a striker.
Actually, I
That-
want
that-
you
my
as left
position.
back.
My
I
position
want
is right back.
I want you. Well, but I want you to move left because I want you to be like a Marcelo, a Roberto
Coaching.
Carlos.
I play left back when our left back doesn't turn up.
Okay. See,
I can do both. So
versatile.
I play
Versatile.
center back as well.
So,
Nice.
so no
All right.
legitimate answer there. Huh?
No.
Okay.
So your team is Cleverson. That's it.
Cleverson.
It's basically a bunch of 12-year-olds and Cleverson and just pass him the ball every time. And we make the goal a little bit bigger too, so it doesn't hit the post every time.
So Chris, your team's going to lead with Pedro Mendes,
Put bumpers on the side so it doesn't
Walter
go to bounds.
Ramirez.
They're my field's gonna be let's see, Ben Spencer,
Blake Smith.
Blake Smith,
Blake
yeah.
Smith.
Blake
Yes.
Smith, Andrew Stone,
Andrew.
Andrew Stone. I like Andrew Stone.
I did like
friend of the show. He's a good guest.
Absolutely.
He's a good
Yes.
player.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Fajiro,
yes, yeah,
Chris
I'm
Astridge,
gonna probably have
Walter Ramirez.
yeah.
I'm gonna have
Baba.
Baba
Okiyama,
Chris Way,
Baba Chris Way.
Sprinkle.
yeah,
Sprinkling.
Sprinkles in the goal.
In the goal. Absolutely.
Chris Way did not see the field, did he?
No.
Oh, we could put Jurgen in goal.
We could.
I don't have good bathrooms, so I don't think he'd play for me.
So okay. So if I'm being honest, if I start in the back and I honestly I feel somebody's gonna be pissed with me saying
He
it.
won't listen to it.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna start Cardona in the back.
In goal.
Yeah, I'm gonna start Cardona. I like the athleticism. I like his movement. Yes,
You've only
you know-
seen him for
No, I've
2 games?
I've seen him practice.
100 minutes.
I've seen him in practice. I've seen him in stuff. Here's the thing with him is whether it's good or bad, and that comes with game experience, is he makes a decision. I'm going to go grab that ball. That's mine. This is my box. I'm going to make that decision. And you're exactly right on your point is we don't have enough game experience to know.
And to be honest, the Jacksonville game, you can't
can't
base
blame
an
him.
opinion on
Hell
him
no.
because we
The
totally threw
defenders left
ourselves
him
under
to
the train.
fucking they
that game.
left him to they left him stranded, and he had to make some plays. And honestly, he made a couple great plays that probably saved us from some other terrible goals.
Well,
So
we were getting attacked by a 4-3-3 that were running right through us for the whole game.
So the big thing for me up top is I want a little bit of both. I love pace abusing.
So she
Pace
said,
abusing is good. Oh, pace abusing is good. But I would
Chris likes
honestly
coming
love a
fast and hard.
Woj. I would love a Woj Duke Lacroix matchup because you have the speed.
Uh-oh.
You love the height.
Yeah, I
you
like it
love
too.
the height. and you love and the jumping ability and the speed. Duke is scary enough that he can outrun. Honestly, the only thing with Duke that's bad is that you might get like 15 offside calls a game because the guy's too fast at that point. But as midfield, honestly, I like Steinberger. I like Zach. I think his creativity. I think the one thing that we miss at times is creativity. A team can be technical. A team can be good. Creativity is something that American soccer, I feel like, misses. And you look at a lot of American soccer teams, whether you look at MLS or NASL, American-born players lack a certain level of creativity. And that's what separates these top-end level players from, you can be technically great, but, man, like, give me something where you're just feeling the game. You're feeling it.
Isn't he a defensive midfielder? I heard he was a central defensive midfielder, so he's basically going to be competing with Brad Ring if everybody's fit.
Yeah, but they both ended up playing, though. So they both just played last game.
Because of our situation.
Right. So, and I don't think that
if Mears is back and Ring is fit, then where do you put him?
I know, and that's a problem. That's a problem with signing 1,000 players. Is what do you do? We could field 2 players, right? We could play, as you said, we could field 2 teams right now.
I think we signed Steinberger because we know that Pena is out probably until the end of August. I'm not a big fan.
Cleberson doesn't count.
Right.
And we have Keller, and Keller was injured for a couple
Dylan
weeks.
is gone
So
for 4 to 6 weeks, right?
Central defensive midfielder is one position where you can't afford to not have one. So
that was evident in the Ottawa game.
Yeah. So would I put
we weren't going to talk about the Ottawa
would
game.
I put Steinberger in before Ring? From what we've only seen 60 minutes.
Well,
of.
absolutely.
No, absolutely
Right.
not. But yeah, he can do jobs elsewhere, and it's good to have that cover.
I would say so. Right, and that's the thing. Brad Ring for me, I love Brad Ring because he's a guy, again, unafraid of, I don't care who the opponent is. He's going to take it to them. He's going to work. And that's why I love Kyle Highland as well, because Kyle Highland, he's a small guy, but damn it, if he's not a pit bull, he's a high life. He's the high life. Right.
There's no one on our team that can jump as high as Brad Ring.
I think I proved that.
There is not anyone.
Besides Woj.
He can jump higher than anyone.
Woj.
No, I guarantee it. Stand from a
I have
single
proof.
position.
I have proof. I have photo evidence of it.
Did Brad get a running start?
Brad, both of them, yeah. Yeah. Brad, don't do your thing. No, I have photo of it. It was funny that's why I made that tweet out about that. The first thing that we learned is his Brad Ring has wings.
Yeah, he seriously can jump. It's so ridiculous.
When one of your smallest guys is the guy that's in there battling for head balls is.
I put it on Twitter. I tagged them both. See who could jump the highest.
But Woj, I have a photo of Woj who's literally
waist high
on some guy
who's probably like 5'11", 6 foot.
It's all about your approach. Brad it's how you step off on one foot.
Yeah.
Brad knows how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen him take out guys 6'2", 3" in this league.
Yeah.
In the midfield and get above them and head the ball
he's
down.
aggressive.
It's
right.
ridiculous.
And get his face destroyed.
Yeah.
They're like, who was I talking to? Is one of the shooters for Indy 11? He goes,
Brad. What's a shooter? Like
photographers.
Oh, okay.
One of the shooters. He was.
Are they called shooters?
Thank God you didn't say strikers. I was like, God.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No.
One of the shooters. I was talking to Brian Brown, the shooter for Indy 11.
Steinberger and
Shooter Brown.
He goes
Rambo.
He goes Steinberger and Ring are interplaceable. I said, except for that, Ring has a lot more in-game experience on his nose. I said that's the difference. I said Ring's experience some real stuff on there. So
yeah, I don't understand. Sometimes how that lineup
Go
gets.
to the bathroom.
Oh my God, we got both of them going at the same time. So we're just alone, and we can wrap it up soon.
No, I was just checking notifications. We're good.
What was
Man.
that?
We're just checking notifications. We're good. It is what it is.
No. I don't understand how and this is something that I probably want them to hear, but watch him bail through the back. Hey, there he is. I don't why do you have your
Hey, Zach Galifianakis. Glad you made it back.
Sun never sets on cool, huh?
Never.
I don't understand how the lineup is so skewed week after week.
That's my point. Right.
So
I'd love to hear your perspective on this.
one of the things that happened last year, and it's actually continuing in this fall season. A player gets signed and they start 4 days later. To me, it's kind of troubling. It shows how little confidence the coaching staff and the rest of the team has in the players they've already.
Do you think
got.
it's coaching staff, or do you think it's upper management?
Could be both. I mean, right now Tim Regan is interim head coach, but he's still also director of soccer operations or something to that effect. So
that's exactly right.
If he doesn't get a vote at the table, then he doesn't get that title.
Okay.
But the same thing with Jurgen, and it happened last season, especially toward the end when they add players like Charlie Rugg and Miller, and they get inserted into the lineup right away, and Julian and all those players. They turned the season around at that point. They did a great job. But how crappy was the team that a player who's been with the club for 3 days gets a start? And that's really what should be troubling if you're paying attention. I know for a fact that as a player, when you train with a team for months and months and you're there in spring, and preseason, if somebody's only been there for 3 days and all of a sudden they're starting, I mean, that makes everybody take a look around. I know I've physically heard Jurgen Sommer say before he left, if you don't do your job, somebody will, find, the ironic part is he wasn't doing his job, so somebody will, but he said it to the players, and he said it angrily, and he said, do your job. We will find somebody to replace you. And there are soccer players all over the world. As we just realized, Marvin, who we hadn't really heard about until just a few days ago, there's no press on him. There's not a lot of scouting report to be done other than the FIFA report that's already been done.
I knew nothing about that until today, and I'm not excited at all.
But the point is there are players everywhere. That you can draw players from literally anywhere. And how much does it say about the team and the players that we have, similar to, Jaime Frias, who's been benched and just won't see the light of day, and I'm not necessarily saying he needs to be on the field, but I'm just saying, we've had these players for a year plus, and now all of a sudden we get a new guy who's been here for 3 days and he's going to start. Yep. Zach is starting. Dane started instantaneously. All these players. We weren't prepared for last season, and Peter admitted it, on camera, on microphone, and Peter Wilt has said we were not prepared for last season. Well, it says to me in this fall season, in the rapid amount of signings and the people that they're talking to right now, that they weren't prepared for this season either.
Wow.
Yeah, I think on
sounds
paper,
sounds like hashtag real talk.
From before spring, when I looked at the players that we were signing in the squad that we had, I was way more optimistic than last year.
Yep.
And obviously, I didn't know a lot about them. When I saw Mulgaris play against Bradley in spring, I thought he looked like really sharp. He looked like a really good player. He looked like the kind of winger that could take the ball the whole way down the field, or he could cut inside and put himself in the scoring position. And I guess
but you've talked about that.
You've talked about that though. You complained about the lack of a difficult spring season.
Yeah.
Pregame.
We can talk about that. I thought that our preseason was terrible.
So playing Bradley,
it was not competitive enough. I know that people don't care about like preseason results and how the games go, but if you look at some of the other teams, Tampa played something like 12 preseason games before, and they went into their first game of the season and beat San Antonio at their own.
Preseason doesn't matter, but you're a professional team and you tied Dayton.
Well, look at the
tied Dayton.
Look at some of the international friendlies around the league too during the break. Like some who was it? Tampa Bay or Fort Lauderdale played Boca Juniors.
Yeah,
and we played like the last place team in.
I thought that was a good game. I thought it was a pretty good game.
It was a good game, but I'm just saying in terms of what you were saying, where it's the caliber team
Boca
to go against
is one of the top in the Brazilian league for
my
ever and ever.
My thing with our preseason is it started late. It was all crammed into a short space of time, and we didn't have all the players that we're going to have starting in spring there for those games. I mean, Mulgaris, I think Bradley was the first game he played. So, he had one game to get used to the rest of the team against the college team that just literally did nothing. Yeah. I mean, we romped them 5-0. It was literally like saying we're going to set up an easy game before we start to make everybody feel good. It's not going to do you any good if you rump over an easy college team and then go in against a hard team, So preseason wasn't that great.
You want to do some more hashtag real talk?
Yeah.
You want to do some real talk?
Hashtag
real talk.
Hashtag real talk.
Cosmo's
Real
game, Cosmo's game,
What's a
top
real
to bottom though, was like a real performance that was thoroughly enjoying from my standpoint. Everything they did, the team, everything front office, down toward the team in the on-field performance was fantastic. That was a great game to go to. I was shocked and I was yelling at people that were leaving. I'm like, don't leave. This game is amazing. They're going to tie again, or maybe they're just going to fight because they're tired of tying. And
Or destined to tie.
Yeah, right.
yeah, but
Death
neither team
taxes.
Death taxes and a tie against the Cosmos.
neither team wanted to. I mean, you're talking about Christmas in July. You're talking about bobblehead night. What? You're talking about a 3D poster. What? Crazy.
It was
But
awesome.
literally after about 70 minutes, neither team wanted to win that game. It's just.
Yeah.
I
disagree. I saw a lot of the players
Hey,
looking at
where
each
were
other
you,
like,
Cormack?
I will.
Where were you in that game?
I was at Madison, watching these guys, Indiana Fire.
You weren't even there.
Yeah, no, I was at Madison.
I watched.
I watched every single game every week
Remember-
twice because I had to write about it. So
ESPN 3.
We go
So
back
is
to
that
this
how you
emotional
watch it?
connection.
Yes, absolutely.
Cormack is the guy who swears off at the team after he watches the game. He's like, this is bullshit. This team sucks. I'm never going to be a fan
I
again.
don't lie. No, I would never say I'm never.
20
gonna be a
minutes
fan
later,
again.
he's
I
going through
love
like
this
the
team.
12 degrees of like coping.
I would never
and-
say I'm never going to be a fan again. I love this team. If they're going to play shit, I'm going to tell them, but I'm still going to love them.
Right. Right.
Even Peter Wilt on our podcast, the first time he was on, he said he was surprised how many supporters didn't complain last year.
Yeah.
Because
He kind
Peter
of
Wilt
alluded
he
that to us
expected
too.
it.
Yeah.
He wants people to complain. He wants people to tell
The
him
overall attendance numbers are trailing off. I'm not saying they're falling off,
Here's-
but they are.
Here's the
trickling
thing
down.
with that though, and from an operational standpoint, from last year, there was a lot of tickets that were comped, and people were from what I
That's different from this year.
They're still doing.
but in terms of how many people are actually buying a ticket to go to the game, like given to
complimentary.
Commission.
complimentary. Okay, sorry.
It's an English word.
Got a foreigner on the show.
But seriously, when you go to some of the
You've
games,
been here for like fucking 47 years.
Doesn't
No,
matter.
but he also speaks English, so it's more insulting.
when you're going to a game though, and
American's like my second language.
you see the stadium though, it's almost it's filled. It looks as full as it was when they were announcing sellouts.
Yeah,
It still looks the same, but it's like, okay, now this time it's 9,600 people instead of 10,000.
Correct.
It looks exactly the same. And I think it's because when some of those people were getting tickets or buying tickets wouldn't show up, or got a complimentary ticket and didn't show up, and so more people are actually wanting to go and buying tickets to go versus winning them or getting
Where are
complimentary.
you getting
tickets.
your stats from?
Front office?
Where are you getting your stats from?
Front office.
Can't
tell me my
source.
Yes, pretty much. I can't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying it's someone from the front office.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Right.
But I'm just saying, just because all I'm saying is because he's
I
saying
love
that
you. I love you.
because the things are trailing, the
Right.
numbers are trailing. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that less people are actually going to the game.
yeah. They don't actually release the gate numbers. I've asked them for those before. They won't tell you how many tickets they scan, for whatever reason, and that's their own business.
It's the
but
same.
they'll tell you how many are sold.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
It's a marketing thing. That's a marketing thing.
Absolutely.
It was the same in Chattanooga on Saturday.
So, but they announce
Yeah.
the attendance. It's not the same as the scanned number of tickets.
Right.
That's
Correct.
not necessarily a problem. It is just, when they announce 10,562, it does look the same as when they announce 9,600 and whatever. Sometimes the rain, though, like we had shitty weather the early part of the season, a couple
We did.
huge rain
Absolutely.
delays.
Right. The Rowdies game was one of those.
Yeah,
Right.
didn't you guys leave that game?
We went
No,
to Chatham
we came
down. We went to
back.
Chatham
We came
downtown and
back.
came back.
You went
Oh.
to Chatham downtown. You didn't go to Fisher's.
You didn't go to the garage?
No, we
That's
usually
so
we
awesome.
usually go
I
to
heard
the garage.
had an amazing party.
Oh, the
No,
Red
we
Card
usually-
Regiment started playing, and by the way, I love the Red Card Regiment. I actually know one of the guys in the Red Card Regiment. They
Name
have-
dropping. Just go ahead and name drop it.
His
Just do
name's
it.
Danny Marquis.
There it is.
Danny, if you're listening,
I know several guys.
There you go.
RCR.
Ooh.
So-
he calls him
he acronymed
RCR?
him. He got, what the shit? You're done. You're done. son.
so-
You're like,
Oh, sorry, I meant RCA.
Oh, well, let me tell you the song that they were playing that had everybody hype. Take on Me.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I got I took a video of it.
Oh, you already know because I heard him play it twice at the last game. They love it.
Yeah,
So-
they came down to Atlanta with us in spring, and they played it there too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the RCA.
RC.
Red Car Regiment.
That's
Red
easy
Car
for
Regiment.
you to say.
They took like 9 people down to Atlanta in spring. We had a blast. A lot
That's
of fun.
that's a cool addition to like a game day experience too. So, so to wrap it up, final question is a two-parter because I love two-parters.
Or
This is
3
the
or
part
4.
where we're
It
not going
sounds
to talk about
professional.
the Edmonton game again.
Okay, yeah.
Nah,
so
we don't have to.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a game tomorrow. It's just a game
So
tomorrow.
it's a
apparently.
3-parter.
No. It's not just a game. This, I don't care
It is a big
who
game.
we start. I don't care who we start. Whether we know or don't know. It doesn't matter what the lineup is. It doesn't matter.
We have
I don't
no
fucking-
idea
seriously,
who's
we
gonna
don't know.
start.
Fucking doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You listen. You can rub your head all you want to. It doesn't fucking matter. The point is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, it is still a game. It's still important. The entire season is important.
Yeah, it would be a
You're
league
right.
game, so it has to be pretty important.
Exactly. It's important.
Yeah, it's worth
Listen,
points for a table,
listen,
right?
Listen, and I don't think this is lost on anybody. We lose to Atlanta. Atlanta moves up 3 points. They're now tied with us. We quickly lose ground, and you made the point earlier.
Mhm.
We lose to Edmonton, who is what at 8 points
They're
right
8,
now.
and if we lose to them, they move up to 11.
At 11, right? You talk about parity, and why you love the EPL. The parity in the NASL this year is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Because
tight.
you were
It's very
so
close.
close. And when we were on there with the Gorilla Talk radio there for the Atlantic Silverbacks, and we were talking to them, and we were talking about parity.
You talk to those guys?
We did. We were on their show. But what is that supposed to mean? You talk to it's one guy. It's one guy. And he knows his stuff. He does know his stuff. What?
No, you're
Go
good.
ahead.
I'm listening.
No,
He was
please.
just
I was
smelling the
I was
microphone.
seriously just like, leaning my face
You
like
just
this.
want to smell that microphone.
He's tired.
now.
I'm pretty tired, but go ahead.
Dude, we're all tired. Just deal with it.
I'm telling you to
I'm
go.
wide awake.
I'm telling you to go.
Yeah, me too. But I'm tired.
I'm
And
letting you
wide awake.
finish.
I'm amped up. I had an energy drink. I really like energy drinks.
Oh my God. When I said it was going to be a shit show on Facebook, I literally meant that it was going to be a shit show.
I had a Coke Zero on the way here.
All right.
All right, so the point being,
You're a fucking hardcore.
listen. This is what I want everybody to know, regardless of who we start tomorrow. It's still
This is going to be profound. I could just tell.
Nah, you know what? The hell with
He's
you,
almost
Cormack.
crying.
I am. I'm crying because I see this dude over here. I just feel like if you make all these moves and you sign a player literally every fucking week, you sign a player every week. That means you're investing money to make this season, not next season, this season a success. So, however, tomorrow this lineup turns out, whatever, it just doesn't, we'll just see what happens. I'm just saying, we got 3 games, in 7 days.
I normally don't edit
This
shows.
shit's got to be good.
I normally don't edit shows, but this might be one of those ones that I have to do some snipping
Just do
on.
it.
The problem is,
Take cut, man. This shit's for
Listen,
real.
Andy, edit this.
Absolutely.
Edit it.
No,
Edit
because
it.
we're all live on YouTube right now.
It doesn't matter. None of them are watching.
Yeah, they
it.
are. We got people watching. So
No,
let's not.
none of
Nobody
them.
watches this show.
None of them are watching it. My point is, what's that? I want to say. Who is that?
Mike.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'm just saying, every game is important, and you understand this.
Of course it is.
We don't have the same season that the EPL does.
I'm going to be
or La
blacklisted
Liga.
after this.
No, you're
Colluder's
fine.
never going to return.
I'm
to
not.
emails.
It's because Cormac already is.
I've got shit on Collider. I'm cool.
Right. We don't have the same season EPL La Liga. We don't have all the games.
Mhm.
So every game is important. I
agree.
I feel our team is going to put on a great performance tomorrow, no matter what. No matter who's playing.
Every game is important.
It is. But we need those points.
Atlanta proved
3,
it.
whatever.
They jumped 4 positions or 5
Yes.
positions in one game.
There's one thing that people don't really pay attention to. We have a split season. It's 10 games in spring and it's 20 games in fall. People don't realize we're 15 games into a 30-game year.
Yeah. It's
We're halfway through.
Yeah, we're
And
halfway.
we're screwing up.
Yep.
Every game is important.
Yes.
It's only a 30-game
absolutely
year.
is,
And we're looking
right.
at combined season because we're not going to win the fall.
No.
But there have
So
been teams,
every game is important. Every point is
We
important.
could win the fall
We could.
if we treat
it's
every
not
game. If
impossible.
we treat every game as the game, yes, we can.
But we're not doing that. And we're inconsistent.
Oh,
and people
so
are
I'm
saying,
the one who's going to get you blacklisted.
right? It's still too early. You shouldn't panic. It's still
Right.
too early. Blah, blah, blah.
What do you mean?
Whatever.
No,
No,
I don't
we're
know if anybody's,
halfway.
I don't know if
Start
anybody's
We're
saying that.
halfway. We're halfway through.
You know,
Guess what?
I think what's going to happen this year. I mean, if we don't pick up points tomorrow and we lose on Saturday, we're going to end up like last year, opening the checkbook and just trying to make something that's nice for the end of the season, so that we can win a few games.
Just sign.
well, back to my real talk.
yes, real talk. Hash.
Let's end it with some real
doesn't-
talk.
It doesn't matter if you win. It matters if you put on a good show. And so
And if you put on a good show at the end of the season, everyone's going to forget the rest of the year, and that's what we
true.
did last year.
Winning
and
does.
you knew this was going to happen.
Remember
but
this-
you didn't expect me
Remember this
to
post?
be a part of
Hey,
this.
remember this post?
Remember this post when we no longer get any players on our
Remember-
show.
No, I'm saying remember this post.
Ever.
The Chris Ball pose when something's just there it
But
is.
just remember when
We should
when-
all do it and not talk.
Wait,
inside.
okay, we'll do that. But when Colluder says we get no more players and we're done, and Indy 11 has disassociated, and Brickyard Battalion says no more, so we'll just do this. Let's a moment of silence.
You know what you do then? You go to X players like we do.
That's
Oh my
very
God,
true.
Estridge?
Yep.
Oh
It was a
man,
great podcast.
It was a very good podcast.
that's the only one that you didn't mention
What's up?
in the whole thing. When we were talking about all the ex players that
No,
went through it.
he did.
Oh, you mentioned that.
Uh-huh.
Rich. Ah,
Yeah,
shit. Sorry.
We're at the point
I
where
heard 'em
nobody
all.
can remember what
All right.
anybody
No, I
said.
do. I do remember. No. I
yeah. So
do. Hence why I've referenced multiple times. Back
we
when you were saying.
we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we got to wrap it up.
We do.
Sure. So plug your guys' crap.
Plug it. Wait, no.
Bloody
Listen.
Shambles, bshambles.blogspot.com.
It's honestly a great blog.
Yeah, it's way better than the podcast.
That's because you're doing it with 3 other people. 2 other
Maybe.
people.
No. He doesn't do it the blog.
One other person. No, the podcast.
No.
He does the blog.
I know, but I was saying the blog is amazing, and you're
Yeah.
like that's because you do it with a bunch of other people.
No,
No, I'm just saying the blog. the
Chris,
blog.
you're fired.
I'll have
you
what he
missed,
said.
you missed the part where he said,
You need to cut.
don't listen to the podcast.
Oh, gotcha. Don't listen to the podcast. I thought you meant don't listen to our podcast, but I was like,
No, I
yes,
meant
you're
our-
right. Don't listen to our podcast.
Probably that too.
No, yeah, don't listen to your podcast
Right.
either.
That's what I thought you meant because I was
Oh,
like, this
God.
is Cormack.
I don't
He's
listen
like,
to podcasts at all.
So,
But
anyway,
yes, bshambles.blogspot.com. We're on SoundCloud and
Really, is it that hard to not think that he meant our
he's
podcast?
still plugging his shit, man.
I'm just saying.
He's got to put his kids to bed.
No, he doesn't.
No, I don't.
No, he doesn't. He's a terrible father.
All right, so I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They'll put
Cormack,
themselves to bed.
the Bloody Shambles Soccer Show is on SoundCloud
Yes.
and iTunes.
Yes.
And
then Twitter
Twitter is
at
can't remember.
bloody underscore
at
shambles.
bloody underscore
There we go.
shambles. Yeah. And I'm at
I always know
Hellbucket.
everybody's Twitter.
Why
handles.
have we had to do this multiple times?
Yeah,
for
where
other
nobody
people?
knows
What's your Twitter handle?
I don't
It's
know.
the bird. Tweet. No, that's not your.
Aaron,
Hey, how's it going?
where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter.
Nice
You can
sunglasses.
follow me
Sun never sets on cool.
at A Gunyon, or you can follow Indiana Sports Report at Indy Sports Rep.
Ooh, just the rep.
Yeah, it's a rep. It sounds better. It's kind of badass.
Tomorrow,
It's what it is.
if you're down at the Circle,
I don't get.
Indy 11 is
I don't
giving
get
out
fired.
free
Not going
hot
'cause
dogs.
There's no corn dogs. Ain't
Free
going.
hot dogs. 150 free hot
I don't
dogs.
sell-
Corey Miller's not showing up because he only likes corn dogs.
I'm not settling for second best. If there's
Peter
no
Will
corn
likes
dogs.
corn
I ain't
dogs.
going.
And they also have a family 4-pack available for $79 on Saturday.
Did they
Is that
tell
like
you
a very
that?
small
Yeah.
stomach?
But also, you can follow us at PR Podcast Show on YouTube
If you dare.
if you dare.
I
Yeah.
do.
Listen,
Thanks, guys.
No.
Oh, we're not
Mr.
done.
Gunyon.
Chris.
Wait.
No.
All right, Chris has got one more thing to say, and I'm sure it's very deep.
No, it's not. Mr. Gunyon, Mr. Cormack.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for
To the last PR
Really?
podcast.
Listen,
Mark's gonna throw us back to you.
no, he's not. He's not. Listen, why? I don't understand what all this disdain and hate is about. I mean, you get what I'm saying.
All I can say is I love Chris more than I ever did before.
Right, there you go.
I
See,
just-
they've got
No,
that
right.
love thing.
It's an all-American love story. No, I think it's
He's just
like a
getting
triangle.
This
He's
dude
like
is
me. He's
Will
getting completely
Ferrell.
lost.
This dude is Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey right here.
All right.
Do you like
Every-
cheese? All right.
Now, this is English
Oh,
for Humperdinck.
And next show here at Fisher's Chatham, we have we've got
maybe.
if we're still doing it, Bob Kravitz on the show.
No,
Bob Kravitz.
it'll still be live.
No,
Yeah.
don't joke.
You will
No,
still be
Literally
broadcast.
have Bob Kravitz on the show
Kravitz
next
is on
time.
the show.
We're having, can't
Bob
remember
Kravitz.
name. No, what was it you said?
We have Bob Kravitz coming on the
Can't
show.
Bob
remember
Kravitz.
name. Can't remember
Bob
name.
Kravitz.
Oh, we have
Bob
we,
Kravitz is coming on the show.
Yeah.
Can't remember name.
we have name forgotten coming
Name
here.
forgotten.
Oh, he's
And-
going to be here in the north end
Yes.
zone.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on. Bye.
Bye.
Glory, Minion.